Hey guys, this episode we're talking about music. And if there's anything I know about music, it's
This is the song that opens up the podcast. This is the podcast, so this is where it goes. It has nothing to do with the topic of the day. Hey, 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 hey. There might be a song for opening up a podcast that has some relation to the subjects we discuss, but this has nothing to do with the things we're gonna say. Everybody sing it with me. Hey, 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 hey.
Oh, I forgot what we were supposed to say. Wait, but it does have something to do with the subject of the podcast.
They don't know that yet.
They don't know that
I
yet.
lied.
Welcome,
spoilers.
everybody.
I really thought you were about to sing the song from Les Mis. the song of Angry.
Welcome,
Song.
everybody, to episode 9 of Knights of the D-Pad. Woo! We've once
Let's
again
go.
changed sets.
But this time we're not all cramped into a corner
No.
and we
No,
have
this
space.
is actually good.
And
There's
we-
like decent
not
space
just
between
air.
myself and
We
Aiden
haven't
here.
moved buildings or rooms. We're in the same room. We're literally just 5 feet
Yeah, you were
left
5
of
feet
where
to
we
the
are.
right.
We're just in the same side of the room, just in the different corner. We're in the nice Daily Universe news set.
Yes.
So we
Completely
kind of
without permission.
well, wait a minute, Ben.
Well, not at this camera angle. It cuts off at his nose, so you can't really see much.
Well, and I mean, we don't have a Brigham Young behind us, but that's okay. But now we have
Yeah.
nice desks. We have the cool blanket because I got this from Dave and Buster's. They didn't. So
Yep.
maybe
But we have
someday
Rage
they'll
Quit.
get it.
And
So-
I got
That's-
lucky
that's
because I sit
equivalent.
next to Aiden, so I get the full blanket
Because- and
by
I got lucky.
association.
And I got lucky. Oh man. So
So consistency, right?
yeah, it
Consistency.
doesn't. It doesn't.
we
Because-
don't have
Host this
consistency.
time.
Hey, 2
consistently-
weeks running the same host,
2
but we
weeks
changed.
running
Yes.
We
Yes, we have
changed.
that.
We changed, yeah.
We changed the set.
So there has to be one thing that changes in between episodes every single
Every
time.
single time, and this week it was the set.
Sad.
Oh,
Next
man.
episode, we're going to be on top of White Mountain.
Yeah, we're gonna do reporting live from the top
Next
of
episode,
White
we're going to be in Ohio.
just the final boss of
The
America.
final boss of America.
Oh no! All right,
Anyway, we got some fun news.
we've
topics
got
for
some.
today.
Yeah, we're a little lighter on the news though because we wanted a lot more time for our feeler segment. So who wants to start of the news topics? Thanks for volunteering, Court.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Whoa. Are you not ready? Are you not
Oh.
prepared?
No, I'm prepared.
You're prepared?
I didn't volunteer. and
No,
I
he
was
did. I think he
for it.
volunteered.
I was drafted. All right.
By Fortnite.
By Fortnite.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
I mentioned this a little bit last week,
Did you?
but I did
He did.
for an extended period of time. But the Unreal editor for Fortnite came out officially over the course of this last week. It looks really cool. They've released like a lot of like information. I won't go over it too much because I did a lot last week. But basically, it looks like it's just about everything that I was hoping it was. I mean, it really is just putting the tools to, import your own assets, import your own sound effects. People have already started making some stuff. A lot of the stuff that the community has made in just these first few days have been horrendously buggy, but that's to be expected.
It's a new tool.
With a
It's-
tool this
yeah.
complicated and like that little work time and just like community made, it's to be expected. The 3 demos that Epic themselves made to put out
Epic.
to like show it all work very well and are very, very cool. And they're free because it's Fortnite, so you can go check them out if you want to.
Guys, it's
But-
Fortnite.
Go build Fortnite like in Fortnite.
It's
Actually,
Spider-Man
that
from
is-
Fortnite.
That is one of the biggest community-created things that has like come to fruition.
Wait, it's
because
just
of this.
Fortnite 2?
Well, no, is
There's
these
finally
several
Fortnite 2.
groups have rebuilt. Several different groups have done like their own version of it, but they've rebuilt the original like Fortnite map
Welcome to
from like chapter
Tilted
1, like back in like
Towers.
2000. Yeah, like with Tilted Towers and all those like iconic locations. And like all the old loot, the old graphics, the old like movements, everything. Like,
because you can't play that
'cause you
anymore.
can't play
yeah.
it anymore, but now you can because they recreated it basically 1-to-1.
Wow.
This new thing, and it's out.
What's
Is it
what's
super
the
buggy?
old place
Yeah.
that got hit by a meteor?
Tilted Towers.
No?
Yeah, Tilted Towers. Oh, Dusty Divot.
Yeah, that.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
it's more than just a divot now.
I haven't played.
Were they all alliterative?
Yeah, most of the Fortnite.
Yeah, that's how you
POIs are
remember them.
alliterative.
I haven't
Towers,
played
Dusty
Fortnite since
Divot.
Dusty Divot was still a thing. So, goes to
Man,
show
you're
you.
old.
Yeah.
But it's back now, so
He's back.
anyway,
And he came back.
and it came back. But
This
It
podcast
looks
is
really
getting way too musical.
I wonder why.
it's a musical episode, maybe.
This is a Phineas and Ferb musical episodes.
Dude, I was listening to some Phineas and Ferb music on the drive here.
I shouldn't have said anything.
Hey, it's good stuff.
Yeah, I've seen some of the videos. There was one where I don't know if it was just one of the demos that somebody had made where it was like he was doing some like puzzle challenges in like a passageway or something. And it was like every time it was like you need to go and grab this pipe or something. It like went in like what you would in puzzle games. It would like do a mini cutscene showing where it was,
yeah.
like the camera pan. I was like,
Oh.
automated
Cutscene.
camera pans.
The one that they showed that was like their big one that they showed off and haven't released to the public yet, but they showed it off was like, I mean, fully developed like in like Unreal Engine, so like it looked like a realistic art style. Except for obviously the Fortnite character that was in the
Just
center
out
of
of
it.
place.
But other than that, like
Except for the
completely-
Stormtrooper doing the floss.
exactly. But other than that, completely realistic art style, and it was like it had like an intro cutscene with like a bunch of bad guys flying
Yeah.
on helicopters, and like there was like a huge boss fight with its own like intro cutscene. The music was there. The sound effects were all like completely brand new.
So you
And it
can
was
make
like-
cutscenes?
Oh yeah,
like
you can
this?
make.
Yeah, you
full
probably just
cutscenes.
animate the camera and then.
So you're telling me I can make
Uh-oh.
a feature-length film of the battle between Goku and Darth Vader
Yeah.
versus Travis Scott
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Fine.
with
Finally.
the script written by an AI?
I mean,
Finally.
people have already started to use this whole cutscene feature and the fact that you can make your own animations to make like little.
Coming to
Short
theaters
films.
near you.
This is
in-
gonna be like the next Source filmmaker, isn't
Yeah,
it?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Probably, yeah.
But it will never beat Source Filmmaker.
I don't
'cause
think so.
Source
Source is
Filmmaker
pretty hard to beat.
But yeah, I mean, it looks. Obviously, it's still in its very early beta phases
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
People
but
are still
it
figuring it out.
looks Like it could be some. I mean, it could lead to some incredible stuff.
But can it run Doom?
They could. I want to
I
see
bet you
They've
Doom.
somebody
already
wanna
got,
release.
they've
figure
already
it
got
out.
Do it.
completely functioning calculator working in there, so.
Yeah, but
This is actually
Minecraft
bad.
has a
Minecraft
fully
has
functioning
actually- but
calculator.
I wouldn't be surprised if they. I mean,
Until you can
could
play
100%
Fortnite,
remake Doom in
until
there,
you can
yeah.
play Fortnite in Fortnite, Minecraft still has the
That's
better.
fair, That's fair.
You know.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Speaking of Source Filmmaker, though, because that was brought up, CS:GO 2. I mentioned it last week. They were like, it was
Yes.
just like rumors, kind of, but they have now officially announced it as a free replacement for CS:GO. It
Court,
is
you gotta
being.
stop hitting your mic.
It was
Please.
an accident.
It's been said as an overhaul of every system, moving to subtick gameplay, bigger, brighter, more responsive refresh, to a long-running first-person shooter. So they're having a limited test already through whoever various people got in. I don't really know the exacts of that, but like the biggest improvement to core mechanics is like subtick updates, so that Valve says it will let servers know the exact instant a motion starts, a shot is fired, or a nade is thrown, so that it'll allow faster responses to things
And more precise.
and more precision. I mean, obviously you'll still have ping diff moments, like if your ping
Yeah.
sucks, a better subtick update is not going to help bad ping, but it will eliminate that discrepancy there. Some of the videos they've shown are like stuff for responsive smokes and more dynamic smokes. So they've shown how like a smoke grenade will interact properly with the environment it's in. So they showed it like in an
Instead of just
enclosed
forming like a-
staircase that like goes up the staircase like actual smoke would,
kinda
rather than just
nice.
like spouting out in a
and a circle.
Covering
circle.
a sphere within
So
the
they-
map.
And but
the-
it's responsive to like grenades and shots too, which I thought was like
Everything
one of the
is.
coolest ones.
So they've talked about how the game will have revamped maps, better visuals, UI enhancements, reworked audio, everything. So they specifically, when it came to the reworked maps, they talked about how there's 3 tiers of maps. So there's like touchstone maps that have just like minor tweaks but are pretty much the same. But then they have maps that have been upgraded or completely overhauled to just have new features that better make use of the new mechanics, or may just have removed some things that are irrelevant. And they have some things of like the upgraded graphics with Source 2. Granted, it is like Source is great and all, but you're not getting like a top of the line graphical, but it still looks
noticeably
way better than what they had.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like upgraded textures, everything like that. So they did a limited test starting on this past Wednesday, I think. And players will be selected to join it based on factors like recent playtime on the servers, trust factor, Steam account standing, various things like that. So it's like the most long-standing, trusted, involved players will get it first. So currently,
So me, who has about like 2.5
yeah,
hours.
just people like Ben
People like
will do
Ben.
it. Currently, though, the test is just limited to Dust 2, just kind of one of the famous matches, and it'll be unranked competitive matchmaking, which is interesting. And it's only available on Windows, so Mac and Linux won't have it right now. And they have not mentioned anything about the Steam Deck, so we don't know about that.
Common Apple L.
Common Apple L.
Extreme
Valve has said that all items in CS:GO will be available in the new game, so everything, and they'll all have the benefit of the new Source 2 lighting materials and high-res models, and all of the features will be the full features will be announced at launch, which I think they're looking for a summer of this year release, so because I just said a few months. So it's, finally after weeks of speculation, we have confirmation. A private beta is announced, and we'll get more information as the days goes on. So
Very cool.
Huh.
Very interesting. Very excited.
Wow.
Yeah.
one of the original tack shooter is here.
Well,
Attack shooter.
we all know Valve can count to 2.
All
The
right.
next step,
The next
Yeah.
step will.
can
never
they
take
count
it?
to 3?
No, they will not.
In another 11 years, we'll get CS:GO 2 Episode 1.
And then episode 2, and then episode 2 part 2.
And then CS:GO Black Mesa. CS:GO Blue Shift. CS:GO Alex.
They'll do the Attack on Titan thing. Final season part 3
Yeah.
of 4.
CS:GO Part 3, final part 2.
Final part 2 remastered.
Remastered. No.
Oh man.
Attack.
Echoes of an elusive
Okay.
page.
No.
This thing is
Oh,
it's an
man.
attack shooter.
All right.
Taxes. I gotta do my taxes.
Well,
I
have
wonder-
I got
I-
a game for you. So there's been news floating around that there's an anime dating sim that will prepare your taxes for you.
We are not making this up.
It's called Tax Heaven 3000, and it was actually removed from Steam. So the game would literally start with this girl called Iris, who's like described as like a cheerful, assertive girl who's filing her taxes. And then you'll take her across stakes and learn about her, but then eventually she will help you prepare your taxes. So the page says Tax Haven 3000 was designed to prepare 2022 U.S. federal income tax returns for single filers without dependents. Obviously, it doesn't cover every tax
Right.
situation, so it doesn't always work. But it's designed to help assist in tax prep only. And then obviously they say it's the responsibility of the user to provide fully accurate. So at its core, it's an exercise in sharing personal data and makes it look very unusual in what it asks you to turn over, because it literally asks for your social security number.
In the game.
In the game, because it's helping you file your taxes. So that was part of the reason why it was removed from Steam, because that's a little weird.
You guys can't see it, but over here it's showing a screenshot from the game, and it's this anime.
She's
gal,
literally
pink
doing,
hair, like,
what's your
big,
social
big eyes.
security number?
What's
We
your
should
social
throw that
security
picture up on
number?
the visual. for the video.
Maybe.
But it's the craziest. And the funny thing is, I remember reading about this, and the creator said that he was fed up with the tax system in the United
Yeah.
States. He didn't like it.
Well, it wasn't so much the tax system; it was all of the corporate programs like
Yeah.
TurboTax and like H&L Block.
Yeah.
H&R Block.
Which
H&R
all
Blocks.
lobby to make things
Yeah, so it's
complicated
like
that they can keep
Their
business.
idea is that it's made to make tax filing free, and then to ease the burden of preparation, and then to help get out of those corporate programs.
Yeah,
I
but
see the idea, but that's a little weird that your anime dating sim is asking for your social security number.
I really, because I trust H&R Block and TurboTax to give my social security number too, because they are set up businesses
Yeah.
that have regular checks to make sure that my social security number is safe. What is this company that is getting my social
The
security
only
number?
thing
don't
that they,
trust the
the
anime
only thing
waifu?
that has been said is that oh, but don't worry, the game doesn't have internet online connection.
So?
Which is a lot of just, take us for our word, huh?
It literally
Yeah.
is a lot of take us
Yeah.
for our
Hey, really?
word. It is
Source, trust me, bro.
What's funny is it's not available on Steam anymore, but it's available on itch.io directly from the game's website.
Uh-huh.
So the pricing isn't listed, but the Steam entry for the deleted store page indicated that it will be free to play. But then this next sentence I can't believe. So a collector's edition
I literally
made a
just looked
collector's
this up.
with
I-
a boxed copy of the game will be
And-
available, and an Iris body pillow,
no.
so that you can file your taxes not alone.
No.
Game industry, there's a time when we need to stop, and it was when we made AI presidents playing Wii Sports Bowling. Let's not have anime dating sims that do your taxes. Instead, just listen to the Master Chief helps you file your taxes YouTube video.
Exactly.
He's not asking for your social security number. He's just walking you through it and giving you reassurance that
Exactly.
it's important that you need to do
He's
it.
like the dad you never had.
Master Chief?
Yeah.
Did you not have a dad?
No, I did. I'm just joking.
Have you guys heard of the Dad How Do I YouTube channel? Because there was this guy
Ooh,
who
yeah.
grew up
Oh,
that
without a
sounds
dad,
good.
and so he made a channel called Dad How Do I, and then he's like, how to tie a tie, how to fix a leaky sink, how to do
Oh,
and
that's
How to
all
change
these
a
different
tire.
things.
You know,
He's
Sweet.
really cool. Yeah, this guy is
Really
an
wholesome.
inspiration. Really wholesome. We need now. All we need is that, but with the Master Chief voice,
Or with the president?
or the.
president.
That's Cap, Joe. That's not how you tie a tie.
That's Cap Joe, but you forgot about this other part on Form 397B.
That would actually be really funny.
That would be
All right, you need
So
to take
yeah.
out your W-2.
No,
All right, and then
remember-
don't do
My fellow
anything
tax
dodging
filers.
taxes.
My fellow,
My fellow tax
tax
filers.
filers.
Dodging taxes is the coolest. Just ask me. It's just the coolest.
no.
How do you think I got so rich?
Oh no.
Not filing his taxes. So,
Anyway.
dating sims can file your taxes. I would be careful. So,
Yes. Maybe don't trust Iris with your social security
But
number.
file your taxes, though. You want those tax returns.
Yes,
the return
get the
money
tax
is
returns.
good because you know what you can do with all that money? Buy every existing 3DS
Wait, wait.
and Wii U digital store game.
Man,
Is the character named Iris?
Iris.
As in IRS?
I'm pretty sure that's the-
IRIS, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the idea.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, man, I didn't even
Oh
think
no,
about that.
Iris Chan. No, I'm stopping
Stop!
right there.
You went too
right there.
chaotic. Yeah.
I'm out. Anyway,
Kyle,
like
tell
we
us
said,
about all of the money that you can spend buying games to preserve them for history.
Yes. So, I'm sure a lot of people who are watching this remember the 3DS and the Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
Like
For
a
better
great
or for
handhold
worse.
and a really weird home console
/ handheld.
that was almost also a handheld. The Wii U was weird. It gave us Mario Maker though, so it's not all bad.
Mhm.
You know. So with the closure of the 3DS and Wii U online stores, one particular YouTuber who goes by the Completionist, his name is Gerard Khalil, and his YouTube channel is That One Video Gamer. Now I watched this guy for quite a bit when I was in high school because it was just fun to watch him
No,
doing
he's
reviews
the
of video
YouTuber that
games.
the completionist.
Yeah. Well, his YouTube channel is That One Video Gamer,
But
but his series is called The Completionist.
when I hover over the YouTube icon, it says the completionist.
I think
Did
he
he
changed
change
it to
that?
the completion.
Okay, he must have changed
Get wrecked,
it.
Kyle. Fact check. Dang it!
Checked.
That's Cap, Joe.
That's
Cap,
That's
Joe.
Cap Joe. I mostly watched this guy when I was in high
Anyways.
school. Anyway, he spent, let's see, I believe the total amount, according to NintendoLife.com, was $22,791 US to buy every single game on the Wii U and 3DS online stores.
To preserve for the Video Game
Yes.
History Foundation.
And he says specifically that he's doing this to prevent it from becoming lost media, to preserve future generations, and that he is donating it to nonprofits like the Video Game History Foundation. In fact, he's even doing his own charity event
Yeah.
called Preserved Play, which will help him raise money to preserve more games for the future on April 15th and 16th on his Twitch channel. All proceeds will go to the Video Game History Foundation.
It's cool. What I was surprised at is how little space all of the 3DS games took up. Because, I mean, he spent $13,000 on over 1,500 3DS games, and it took up less than 300 gigs of space.
Wow.
Really?
Now,
That's not bad.
866 Wii U games took up 1.2 terabytes, but even that's not. I mean,
That's not
that's
as
like
big as I was
that's
expecting.
like. I mean, you could almost fit all of that on a modern day console.
Yeah.
Every single Wii U game that's on that store, you could fit.
I'm
on
pretty
a
sure
modern-day
Destiny 2
console.
just by itself is over 100 gigs.
Yeah.
So three Destiny
Ark Survival
2s is
Evolved.
more.
Mm-hmm.
3 Destiny 2s is more space than 1,500 3DS games.
It really shows just how much bigger the file size of games have gotten recently.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can play a GameCube game. It's like 2 gigs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if that.
If
I
that.
mean, even still, Nintendo games are noticeably smaller in like. File
Well, they
size.
kind of
yeah.
have to be because Because there's a reason a lot of the gaming industry is moving away from discs because discs have limited space. But
Yeah.
Nintendo really like their cartridges.
Mm.
And like, yeah, you can really get portable space, but you still are a little limited in
I actually
speeds
really
and-
like the cartridges.
Well, yeah,
of
the
Switch.
cartridges are cool.
little
but
very fun
Nintendo,
to
like
hold.
little
They are, and they're very fun to like.
they're
Yeah.
also really
Yeah,
easy
very
to potentially
satisfying.
break.
They are. I always get digital for all of my like PC, PS5, anything like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
But I
Physical
get the
for-
physical ones for all of my Switch games.
I think it's
because-
been well over
it's
10
fun.
years since the last time I installed a computer game using a disc.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, most computers don't really have optical disk drives anymore.
Yeah.
Mine doesn't have. Wow.
Yeah, most
Mine doesn't
don't.
either.
Most don't because you just buy digital.
I'm a little
Mhm.
annoyed though that my laptop doesn't even have an Ethernet port.
That
lame.
is a little
That-
strange,
yeah,
but
That's not.
that sounds like a
lame.
personal problem.
Laptop makers, there's such a thing as too thin.
Mm.
Anyway,
it's cool preserving games for history of one of
Yeah,
the more
this-
disastrous consoles to ever exist.
This belongs in a museum.
This belongs in a museum.
And it does. And the preservation of culture should exist for films, TV shows, music, video games, art, all kinds of things. And it's really cool to see this guy going out of his way, initially spending out of his own pocket because he's a successful YouTuber and can do that.
Watch Nintendo be like, oh shoot, we need to re-release Mario Maker. We don't have the original files. Quick, we need to go and get the duplicate the file that was donated.
Right? I
Now,
think they're-
now from the Nintendo Vault, Disney style.
and it's just Gerard opening
Gerard.
the vault.
Hand cranking the
Head cranking the vault and pulling out the disc for Mario Maker. Oh no!
That'd be
It's just
amazing.
a massive vault with every single bit stored individually.
Oh, no.
It's just like a light. It's a big, like one of those long panels that just have a bunch of light bulbs representing the bits.
It's all stored here in binary.
It's all
it will never
binary.
be corrupted.
binary.
The stars are all just a series of ones and zeros.
The
Look, I mean,
stars are in position for this tribute.
if they can transmit the code of black holes in binary to a watch in the past, I think that we can store Mario Maker on binary and
That was a good Inception reference right there.
That wasn't
that was an
Inception,
Interstellar
Interstellar.
reference.
Sorry,
buddy.
Interstellar. Why'd I say it wrong?
Wrong
Interstellar.
Christopher Nolan film.
Man's got
They
his
both
Christopher
start with an
Nolan
I.
films mixed up.
I meant Interstellar.
Batman.
I meant Interstellar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the classic
that's a
Christopher
great
Nolan film of
That was a
Batman.
great
That's a
Dark
great
Knight
Dark Knight
reference.
reference. Yeah.
Don't you remember the part where Joker makes Batman's watch tick?
John Batman. John Gotham.
John
No.
Gotham.
All right.
Anyway,
So, Court, Ben, you the two final ones. Both are talking about Microsoft. Who wants to go first?
oh dear.
I'll just go ahead.
They
So
are kind of related as well.
continuing the whole Microsoft, Activision, Sony, Britain controversy.
Britain.
So the UK has finally let up just a little bit with the whole monopoly thing about
Yeah.
Microsoft acquiring Activision.
They've actually flipped completely now, saying that it would help
Mhm.
diversity.
And so before they were saying that Microsoft owning Activision would be a detriment to overall diversity
Competition,
and causing sort of like a monopoly situation. Now they've basically flipped. So I wonder who got paid to flip this. But
Allegedly, it's because wow, Microsoft's making all of these deals. Maybe they're onto something, but
mhm,
they may have also just been paid.
yeah.
We'll
Lo-
never know, will
lobbying
we?
is great. It's really good for ethical political. Anyways, so
All right, let's save this for the political science majors, huh? Let them have their podcast back.
there we go. So it should be interesting. Now the only thing standing in the way is
The U.S. and the EU.
the U.S. and the EU and
Sony.
Sony throwing a little tantrum in the corner.
And
So-
Kyle.
And Kyle.
He's standing in their way.
Didn't you know?
Kyle is the wall.
So
Kyle's like
actually-
that meme, where it's got the small adventure and then the massive monster.
Oh, yeah.
Kyle is the
Kyle
massive
is that
monster.
and Microsoft
Nintendo is the tiny guy.
Microsoft is this little guy.
Sony, it's the Thor Ragnarok. Oh no, he can't stop. I can't stop you, but he can. It's Sony, just like Sony to
Someone's
Kyle.
pointing backwards is Kyle.
Kyle.
Don't turn your hat around, you freaking Pokemon trainer.
I want to be the very best.
Oh man.
There's actually a bit more news about this that I found that it doesn't seem to be on our document. So there was actually another separate lawsuit about this in a California court called the Gamers Lawsuit, and it was a group that was the title that the plaintiffs
The
went
gamers
with.
lawsuit.
Yes, I know, right?
We are suing all gamers.
But it
Attention,
was
all gamers.
it was
All
like
gamers.
I think about
Here's a class action.
my
But
fellow
it was-
gamers.
my fellow gamers.
Fellow gamer.
There comes a time, and okay, anyway. So it was about a handful of people, of all like avid Call of Duty fans, who wanted to sue Microsoft for trying to acquire Activision because
my
they felt
gosh.
they made the same argument that Sony did. It's going
If
to be a monopoly.
Sony
It's
is
gonna create
losing,
all
a bunch
this.
of gamers is not going to do any better.
Yeah, exactly. And the court straight up threw it out. They said they made all these accusations and provide evidence for none of them. So this has no standing.
At least Sony has tried. But, Court, what has happened recently with a certain game that has been a little interesting in this controversy?
Yeah, so this has come up amidst this whole, oh, don't worry, Microsoft is benevolent and
They
not
won't
gonna,
take
like,
anything
they're not
away.
gonna take anything away, like it's totally fine. There was a game made by Arcane Studios, so the same people that made what did they make? Like the Dishonored games and stuff like that.
Okay.
And it's a game where it's basically this open world co-op game called RedFall, where you're these 4 quirky protagonists, and you're going around this open world, killing vampires. And,
Basically, just Vampire Left 4 Dead.
yeah, like Vampire
True.
Left 4 Dead. It's like a zombie apocalypse kind of survival thing, but it's vampires instead of zombies.
Oh, I
And
remember seeing ads for this.
It looks pretty cool. Like
Yeah.
it looks. I mean, I remember they showed it off at E3 a year or 2 ago, and it looked pretty cool. But when they were working on this game, Arcane is under Bethesda, if I'm recalling correctly.
Arcane.
No, like Arcane the studio.
Oh.
is under
I was like,
under
what?
Bethesda.
Well,
League of
And
Legends
the
has been
misery.
acquired. League of Legends has been acquired by Bethesda.
Bethesda. But
that'd be
so
quite a plot twist.
when Microsoft bought Bethesda, they got Arcane as well. And so there's been a bit of controversy over this because this game, Redfall, was planned for release on PC and Xbox, and as of more recent rumors from people who have worked on it, there was a PS5 and PS4 version like in the works.
And then
And then
Microsoft said
Microsoft
no.
came in when they bought Bethesda and basically said, no, like don't make it for the PlayStation. We want this to be an in-house like Xbox Game Pass, Xbox PC. That's it. And like it was like one of the guys who had like worked on the game. I can't remember exactly his position on it, but he stated essentially that when Xbox came in, it was like this.
Harvey Smith, I think, is your
Harvey Smith.
Redfall game designer.
Yeah. There was this huge like change up, and there was just this very firm
No
stance of no
PlayStation.
PlayStation. Keep it on the Xbox, and so it's kind of been this. You've got this image that Microsoft's been pushing out about like, oh, we're gonna be super.
Well, and they did put, even on this one, they were like, we haven't pulled any games from PlayStation. In fact, we've extended our footprint of the games that we've shipped since our acquisition of ZeniMax or of Bethesda. And they're like, and the first 2 games we shipped after acquiring that franchise, that company, were PlayStation 5 exclusives. So
It is.
it's
Perfectly
interesting.
balanced as all things should be.
Right, but it seems like most of the games, like those 2 games that were PlayStation 5 exclusives, it was because Bethesda had previous deals.
ZeniMax,
with,
had.
Yeah, ZeniMax had previous deals with Sony that would make them at least timed PlayStation 5 exclusives. And so they didn't really have any choice but to honor that.
Mhm.
But it's like, this is the first game, I think, that Arcane is making that doesn't fall under a deal like that. And
Yeah, it's
they're
like-
not releasing on the PlayStation.
It's under that,
And
it's
so it's kind
it's
of a...
it's under that fine line of Microsoft going like, we never said it was going to be on PlayStation, so
Yeah.
you can't claim we took it away. And they'd be like, but Call of Duty, we're saying is going to be on PlayStation,
Right.
and we will
but
not
then
take
you've
that
got,
away.
But then you've got the designer guy,
That's saying that it
who's
may
saying,
have
like,
been
there
designed.
was a
yeah.
PlayStation version actively in development, and then Microsoft came in and
So-
said, kill it. And
Hmm.
so it's kind of it's throwing a wrench in that whole like Microsoft is benevolent argument.
But it is
because
one game.
It
though.
is one game,
And it's not Call of Duty.
but it could set a precedent
It
for
could be.
Microsoft to start taking.
Yeah.
I mean,
It could be a harbinger of many bad
it
things
Well-
could set
to
a
come.
precedent for Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah.
being exclusively.
And what's
on
interesting is
Xbox,
going
you
back
know,
to like the UK concern, they put like they had brought up some like provisions, some like preliminary provisions of like if you do the deal, but you may want to think about potentially revoking your ownership of Call of Duty or of Activision. And when I read that, I was like, oh, that's quite a. I mean, if they did that and they didn't get Activision but got Blizzard King instead, that would be. Sony would then have no leverage, but it's like, yeah, it does make it look a little weird because it's like, wait a minute,
Yeah,
you're
especially
saying
when
this,
their whole
but
point has
Mhm.
been like their whole like gotcha has been like, look, like we're not taking games away from PlayStation, and then
Suddenly they do.
suddenly they do, and then claim it was never going to be on PlayStation to
but
begin
then there's
with.
someone who was working on it that was like, yeah, it was.
Yeah, it
Like-
was.
I don't know, little sus,
Little sus.
little sus.
What's really funny is on the same topic of monopolies, there was I think it was a U.S. senator that like brought up in court claiming that Sony had like a monopoly of Japanese-based games. But then you look at the data and it's like, yeah, Sony has a monopoly of Japanese games in Japan.
They are
Sony
from
is a
Japan.
Japanese
And because
company.
Microsoft it has trouble getting it, but it was just so
Are we
funny.
forgetting Nintendo?
Well, no, yeah, it was literally talking like specifically but between Microsoft and Sony. It was an interesting thing.
It's kind of hilarious.
So that's
That's-
all of the news we want to cover, unless anyone has any final things before we move on. All right. So to open up our fun segment, we have another email from Scott, ours truly. Allow me to read this off for us. Gamers. Since the
Gamers.
days of old, playing Warcraft 3 mods on spring break on my family's desktop computer when I was 10. That is a really long... I've always been someone who listens to my own music while playing games. It's gotten to the point where every time I open a new game for the first time, the first thing I do is go to the settings and disable background music. Am I a heretic?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
monster.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That is...
Okay, actually, I resign my statement, kind of.
I think
I
generally
resigned
that
my
is heretical
statement.
behavior.
It's
Yes.
rescind.
I think it depends entirely on the game. To do that with any new game immediately,
That
turning
is
off,
heretical.
That's heretical. But if there's a game that just has kind of boring music or music that you just don't like, and you want to listen to your own music instead, go for it. I've listened to. I mean, or
Okay,
like,
but name a
even-
game with boring music.
League of Legends.
Oh,
Fair enough.
okay.
Like
continue.
in game itself, there's nothing going
Yeah,
on.
and I know some people turn off the Overwatch music, and like there are other times where it's like people don't listen to the vanilla Minecraft music and instead
Yeah.
put in their own resource. I mean, I do that.
that's
with
heretical.
my own
Yeah.
resource.
No, like okay, but with Minecraft music, like I've listened to other random music while playing Minecraft before, and it's
But, like,
because
for instance, are you
everybody
gonna go in-
knows the Minecraft
are you
music
gonna
super
go
well,
in-
right?
To Skyrim and be like, nah, I'm gonna listen to my own music. That's.
I mean,
Mm,
maybe if I'm just walking around.
Are
like,
you
oh,
gonna
my
go
God.
into Smash Bros and listen to your own music?
No.
Are you gonna go into Mario Kart and listen to your own music?
No.
Are you gonna go into Breath of the Wild and listen to your own music?
You better not.
Court is over here debating that.
I still
But-
haven't
What
I
the
still
heck?
haven't
I
played Breath of
listened
the
to
Wild.
the Breath
so
of the Wild soundtrack. I found this guy has the whole
I mean,
thing on
the thing is,
SoundCloud.
a lot of Breath of the Wild soundtrack is very soft.
Aesthetic.
It's
Yeah.
very soft. It's, very
atmospheric.
like atmospheric.
That's
and so
the-
like
that's the
sometimes
point.
if you're wanting a little more like I'm gonna go out there and
You
kill
put on
some
your own,
enemies,
yeah.
you know, and like more adventurous vibes, you can put on.
So
your own
it's
music.
like game by game, okay, understandable. But this general blank, the first thing I do when I open a new game is disable the music. That's heretical
That is
behavior,
heretical
Scott,
behavior.
and you must stop. Cease and desist. Expect a cease and desist letter at your doorstep from every AAA gaming company in existence.
And a few of the indie ones as well.
And a few of the indie ones.
Especially
Toby Fox would
Toby
like a word
Fox.
with you.
so
He's in your walls. He's waiting.
especially heretical considering I know what kind of music Scott listens to.
What does he listen to? Adam.
Metal.
Oh, well.
It's okay. Just
So
play Doom.
just play Doom.
No,
then.
but he would turn off the Doom music and insert his own metal music.
Which is weird because that would still fit very well with Doom, but also the Doom music is
So good. Do not doubt Mick Gordon.
Stop it, Scott. Get some help. I'm Michael Jordan. Stop it.
Stop it.
Get
some
some
help.
help.
But
We
that
referenced
is a
that one
good
so many
segue
times.
into what we want to do for our topic. So Kyle opened with, well, this isn't a high school podcast musical, but we are talking about music. So
Yes.
Scott's over here saying he never listens to game soundtracks because he thinks his rock music is better.
Cringe.
But we
Just
want to
kidding.
talk
We love
about
you, Scott.
our favorite game OSTs or original
Scott.
soundtracks. So for clarity, we're talking about original soundtracks. So games that use licensed soundtracks, like lots of racing games, do not
Dance
count.
Dance Revolution.
Dance Dance Revolution,
Just
Step
Dance.
Mania,
Just
Just Dance, Osu, those don't
A
count
lot of rhythm games.
because those games aren't those aren't
Guitar Hero.
soundtracks. Yeah, those aren't soundtracks made for the games. They're licensed tracks or that have just been brought in from third parties. We're talking about games who have official composers making music for the game. So we're gonna do what we always do: go one by one, share one at a time, talk about why we like them, and then at the very end, after all that, we will each share our favorite singular song
Do we get to listen to it?
from gaming.
The favorite singular song?
It would be a little difficult.
YouTube will allow us to play a short amount. I don't know what Spotify will allow.
Yeah, unfortunately, we will put links in the description of both of the audio and video version to our favorite songs. If we want to, after we finish filming, we'll listen to it. But audience, if you want to listen to them, links will be in the description. Hopefully, I don't forget in post. So, where do we want to start? Who wants to go first?
I do not want to go first because I have a ton.
I'll just go
But you
first because
still have a
I
hard
have the
time
most
narrowing
basic
No,
one.
he has a bunch just in case someone has duplicates.
Well, I love video game music.
Well,
Same.
you're limited to 3.
Oh yeah.
I know, but that's
It's hard
why
to limit it to 3.
Yeah.
Ben,
So I'm gonna let
I'll
you
go
guys
first.
Kick
'cause
us
I have
off.
the most basic one, Minecraft.
Yes.
I
All right.
respect that.
I
Like
100%.
C418.
C418.
But doesn't he not do the music anymore?
Well,
Not
yeah, but the
really.
stuff
But,
he
like, the
left us
original-
with
The old
is
stuff, the
amazing.
old
I'll be
stuff.
honest, like, all respect to Lena Rain. Like, she has a style, but it's just not the same style that I really like.
The
that
light
C418 had.
piano and the light
Mhm.
strings.
Because it was pretty atmospheric in the original
Yeah.
Minecraft. It left it open to your own interpretation.
Mhm.
And Lana Ray's music is great. It's
Yeah,
just
she's really good.
not as open.
And so, anyways, so the Minecraft music, like, there has been like full video essays I've watched talking about how
Yeah, I have
Minecraft
as well.
music
They're pretty good.
is so like melancholy and hits you with such nostalgia every time.
There are some versions. So, like, one of the things I found is, like, you can go on YouTube and find, like, Minecraft songs, but, like, reorchestrated.
They're really
Mhm.
good.
To sound like a Hans Zimmer soundtrack, or to sound like an epic adventure soundtrack.
Yeah.
You listen to that. Oh, it gets you
So yeah,
going,
like
dude. It's so
the Minecraft
good.
soundtrack is so good, and like it every time I come back to Minecraft, you know those like 1 year break you take from Minecraft when
And
then
you
you just
come
go
back and-
nuts for a month.
Mice on Venus starts playing.
Oh yeah. That is, I think, one of the biggest missed opportunities from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was that when they brought Steve in as a character, none of those like iconic classic Minecraft songs were brought into Smash Ultimate or
Yeah.
reorchestrated in like Smash Ultimate
Okay,
style.
yeah, I guess like I was about to say like I could not see a Minecraft.
You're like
Yeah, like-
battling it out, and you do 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 do.
But like
King,
none of
that'd
them
be
were
the
like,
best.
and Sakurai even said after the announcement, he was like, we wanted to, and like we wanted to do that, and even implied, although I don't think it's confirmed, but that they were like a good way through reorchestrating most of Minecraft.
Who
like,
said no?
original.
Microsoft?
And I think it was
Or
I think it was
C418.
C418.
Why would you say
Bro!
no? Whoa!
Who said?
Bro.
And again, I'm not 100% sure, but somewhere along the way, and
Somebody
I
said
think it
somebody
was
who had the
C418
rights of the
Mhm.
music,
said,
whether him
no,
or Microsoft.
You cannot use the Minecraft songs in Smash, and so that's why they have to use all these other ones from like.
Well, but no,
Minecraft
but doesn't he
Dungeons and,
not
like-
have the rights to those pieces anymore? I thought that Microsoft
I
had
don't
full
know.
rights to those,
I
that
would
he
imagine
gave his
so.
rights to those songs.
But it definitely wasn't Microsoft because what they used instead were like songs from like
The newer
the
ones
newer like
under
Minecraft
under
Dungeons and-
Microsoft.
yeah, and so it's like I don't know exactly where along the line they got
Where they got held up.
held up, but it's like, can you imagine some
'Cause,
of the
like,
classic
there's-
ones done in like a
There
Smash
there
Bros.
are
style?
there are
Mhm.
very few soundtracks
So cool.
than Minecraft. They're like instantly recognizable by like 2 notes. There's like that one, Wii Sports.
Yeah.
It's like you hear the first opening riff of Wii Sports, and you're like, oh, that takes me back. It's with Minecraft is the same way.
Apparently, C418 still does
Oh,
own the
he
rights
does-
to
okay,
the
he
music
does.
for Minecraft.
Maybe that was what he didn't give the rights to Microsoft. He wanted to keep them.
Yeah.
Because I know Microsoft. I think Microsoft offered to buy the rights, and he was like, no,
No.
I don't think I will.
Yeah. And so I think it probably was him that said no. Smash Bros. Can't.
I often use a sound pack because as much as I love this Minecraft music, sometimes I feel like it doesn't quite fit in some places. And because some sound packs, because the original sound, like I think the beta soundtrack, when you go into the Nether has Nether music,
Mhm.
but like the sound pack that I use called Snow Song, you go into the Nether and you're like, I'm walking into literal hell here. Like it cranks the like creepy factor up to 20 because then it adds like the voices and stuff to the, because like in vanilla Minecraft, the gas is just like making weird screeching noises. You're like, that's just weird. In my sound pack, it gives the gas these really creepy, like
Whispering
child voices, and they're like,
Ooh.
"I'm gonna find you."
Oh, that's terrifying.
Wait, is
There
that
you
Snowfall?
are. Yeah, Snow Song.
Snow Song.
It is the one I use, but then I also like edit some music because like I think the end music is cool, but I think it's a lot cooler when I throw in my own really intense music in there because resource packs are so easy to edit with your own music.
Oh yeah.
But like, there aren't many soundtracks that hit like OG Minecraft does.
100%.
All right, Kyle, your first one.
Okay. I'm gonna save my favorite for last. It's really hard for me to narrow this down to 3 because I love video game music. I think that like if there's anything that almost every video game gets right, it's the music.
True.
Yeah.
Very true. I'm going to say, just as a general whole, Pokemon. Pokemon has always had phenomenal
And now that
music.
Toby Fox is doing music,
Yeah, and Toby Fox's contributions are great, but even beforehand, like, have you ever found, there's a YouTube channel called Zame, and he'll do reorchestrations of music from Pokemon games, and it's amazing. It's so good. It's like, you want something beautiful and relaxing? You've got it. You want something that gets your heart pumping and makes you feel like you can run a marathon? You've got it. You got something to fight a demon to? You've got it. Pokemon has
Pearl Lake.
everything. It's just like the
we don't
different
have to play the
battle
music.
themes,
Course just
the
gonna
different
sing
route
music.
themes. Can you give me the Team Galactic boss? Nope. Okay.
Yeah,
Like, my experience with Pokemon music is Smash. Like that's
Yeah.
my.
Your mouth trumpet's pretty impressive.
Yeah, they could give them.
But honestly, even in Pokemon games where I thought that
The gameplay
the
was
game
a little
design
weird.
was a little lacking, the level design especially, and the performance like Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet, the
music
soundtrack
is
was
still good.
still a banger every time. I don't think Pokemon has
Kind-
ever
kind
gotten
of
that
a
soundtrack.
kind of a Star Wars situation. No matter how iffy or good the actual content of the Star Wars,
The music is always good
the music is always killer.
because they always have John Williams soundtracks. Just be like,
Well,
John
regardless
Williams.
of your opinions on the sequel or prequel trilogy, whether you like them or not, the music for all 3 trilogies.
Yeah, I
is
still
just-
sometimes listen to the sequel music.
Well,
on
I can think of one
Spotify.
time that it didn't work.
Where? The
I'm
holidays.
Han Solo. I'm Han Solo.
No, but Rogue One by Michael Giacchino.
That was also really good
Really
music.
good soundtrack.
Star Wars does not
Yes.
miss with music, and all of the games also have
This is
very good
true.
music.
And like the Book of Boba Fett theme song. Come
Yeah.
on. That was really good.
Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum.
And the Mandalorian theme song.
Oh,
They're
yes.
all good.
Very good.
Are you saying anything more about Pokemon?
I think it kind of just goes without saying. Pokemon has amazing music in many different feelings and styles, and that's that.
Whether
That's
it's
fact.
8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit, or 100 million bit.
Yep.
'Cause that's
and
the
even
bit
their
rate we're at.
spin-off games have
Is it
great
really?
music, like Pokemon Ranger, especially Pokemon Ranger Shadows of Almia has some dang good music.
That's really
Like the
funny.
villain's theme song is a bop. Listen to that, you can't stop dancing.
That is
It's so good. And then the Pokemon Coliseum soundtrack
Oh
was
yeah,
spectacular. Yes, I love that. The Pyrite Town. Dun, 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 boom, ba, bum, ba, ba, bum, ba, bum,
We're in a jazz
ba,
club
bum,
now.
bum, bum, bum,
Dig
ba,
on
bum,
this.
bum, bum.
Dig on.
Dig on this.
It was just so good. Anyway, Aiden,
So
what's yours?
I'll start with this one just so that Court knows that it's mentioned. The first 3 Halo games. I think
Ooh.
it was Alan Silvestri and Michael
Michael.
O'Donnell, I want to
Michael
say.
O'Donnell.
Yeah, Mike O'Donnell.
That's
I will just confirm.
So good.
Yeah, Martin O'Donnell.
Martin O'Donnell.
Martin
There you go.
O'Donnell primarily, and then I know Alvin Silvestri I think was involved. So yeah, Michael Salvatore. I don't know why I'm saying
Michael Salvatore.
You said Alvin Silvestri.
No, I said Michael like the movie composer.
Yeah.
So yeah, Salvatore and O'Donnell, the first 3 Halo games, you genuinely could consider them one soundtrack.
Yeah.
Because they all feel the same.
With one notable exception to that rule, I think if I had to choose my favorite Halo game, it'd be Halo 2. But if
Halo
I had to
2.
choose my favorite Halo soundtrack, Halo 3.
Halo 3, yeah.
Because Halo 3 introduces this like theme or motif that I think is arguably the best Halo-like
Mhm.
musical thing of all time, and it's really only used in 3 and then they brought it back for nostalgia's sake in Infinite. But it was used in 3.
Yeah, I think 3 is
And
the best
then
soundtrack.
They didn't really use it in any of the ones after it for
Well,
some
that's
reason.
because
and then
I
they brought it
don't
back in
think
Infinite for.
the problem is
But
the
it's so
4 and 5 are not the same people.
yeah.
And the problem is 1 through 3, they go heavy on that, like, the rock, the drums, the heavy drums, and, like, all of the music fits perfectly, and it makes you feel like you're in this alien world, you're fighting. But then 4 and 5, they're like, what if it sounded like a movie?
Yeah.
And, like, as good as the track 117 is in Halo 4, it doesn't beat the Warthog run.
Oh yeah. No, or my favorite piece, because this is where they first introduced this like little tune that I love, is the opening of Halo 3, the finish the fight.
Oh, finish the fight, yeah.
With that trumpet fanfare that they do at the end. Ah, it's so good.
Like,
And they don't use it enough.
They
Like,
just Halo 1 and 2 like are getting you ready for it, and then 3 is like the magnum opus of O'Donnell.
oh, exactly.
It's just like
100%.
everything from the opening to Warthog Run is
Warthog
still
Run is
one of the best
incredible.
runs of music.
Yeah.
And the Halo 2 opening sequence, now when you're able to watch it with the anniversary graphics, is such a good opening cinematic. But even Behold a Pale Horse,
Behold
the
a Pale-
like
oh, yeah.
like the violins in the background.
Oh yeah, and then, and
Do, do, do,
Reach,
do, do.
Reach, Halo Reach
Oh,
may
yeah.
not have some of those but
But
its
it's still the
music
is
same
still
kind
so
of
good.
music.
But it's so good.
And
I mean,
it definitely
Reach is-
cultivated that somber feeling. You kind of
Oh,
know
yeah.
from the beginning of the game, like, this is a tragedy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I am
Well, like the song in
experiencing
Halo
a
2,
tragedy.
Unforgotten, that plays. I think Halo Reach has it, or at least it's meant to be used, like the really light like piano orchestration combo that's meant to like remember the fallen comrades.
Yeah.
I think is used in Reach. I could be wrong though. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Probably. I don't know.
So it's like
Right.
all of the, but then 4 and 5, they're like, it is now a movie, and I'm like, that's great,
Yeah.
but where's my Halo?
Then why
that's-
didn't you just make a movie?
That's what I actually really liked about one of the things I really liked about Infinite is
It goes
right
back to
from the very get go they used that trumpet fanfare from Halo 3 in when they announced
Yeah,
Halo
they did.
Infinite. Like they used it like it was
Because in
predominant, it
4
was
and
there.
in 4 and 5, the Halo theme itself is rarely used.
Yeah.
They use
is
their
a
own
shame.
themes.
And it's like it was a very clear indication like right from the get go that with Infinite they were like, okay,
go back
we're
to the
going
roots.
back to
They
the
need to
roots,
return to
you
form.
know? And I don't know, and I think it's just
Halo's
That-
the
that
first
Halo
3
soundtrack
soundtrack
is
are
just
just so
incredible.
good.
Yeah.
They all, and it just like every piece just sounds like a continuation of the previous one. Like all 3 soundtracks sound like one soundtrack. Like it would just be sent out as a master list. You'd be like, you would be like, yeah, this all sounds like Halo. Yeah, good job. Good job,
Good job.
Martin and Michael.
Well done.
You made really good soundtracks
Well
for
done.
3 games.
Halo.
So I wanted to get that out of the way first, just so that you knew it was mentioned.
Okay,
Because I figured it would. I was like, Court's gonna have it on his list.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
What's your
Aiden just
first
wanted to
one?
steal his
Again,
thunder.
like I've got lots of ones that
Pick
I
one to
could
start.
use, but I imagine that someone else is going to want to use some of them. So
I will not want to use yours. I can guarantee you. I don't think anyone else is gonna bring up. At
I
least
think
one of
mine should be just my own. I don't think anyone
All right.
else has the
Well,
rest of
Court,
mine.
go ahead.
All right. Well, so I'll use one that it maybe isn't isn't probably likely to be used by anyone else, but the Uncharted series.
Oh. Neat.
Kind of the almost the.
Oh yeah,
opposite
the
of
movie
Halo
had a
in the
really good
sense that-
soundtrack.
The movie had a good soundtrack. The movie only uses the main theme from the games a couple of times. It uses it when they wash up onto the beach and the guy who plays Nathan Drake in the games is there. And he's like, and they play it like kind of softly in the
Oh,
background,
to
which
be
I
like,
thought,
wait, it's him.
which I thought was a cool reference. And then at the very end, when Tom Holland's Nathan Drake puts on like the little like shoulder, like the holster thing
Oh, to
that
be like, here he
completes
is.
his
He's,
look,
yeah.
they play it like kind of triumphantly.
I've never
But
played the Uncharted games. What kind of feel is the music? Is it like orchestration, movie
it's
feel,
very
or
like
is it
it's very. I mean, think like very majestic French horn.
okay?
like
Okay.
it's. I wish.
Neat.
Darn it, YouTube copyright laws. I wish that we could just like. What?
yeah. I'm just like looking at YouTube.
Oh, okay. But because I wish we could just listen to it right
Hello,
here. But
YouTube.
the main theme of Uncharted is this like sweeping French horn, like
Mhm.
it feels adventurous. It feels like you. Okay, you can't explain it. I'll have you have to.
Is
listen
there
to
a good game comparison?
I mean, no, like not
Okay.
really.
Fair
Like,
enough.
I mean, that's kind of cool though. That it feels like it stands very much on its own.
I mean, I
Yeah.
could
Right?
put headphones in
Which-
and listen to it myself, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
that would exclude them.
it's, and again, I mean, well, I'll talk more about that later. But anyway, we'll keep going.
Fair enough.
Okay.
All right, Ben, number 2.
All right. So, what I have is League of Legends. So, I said earlier
Didn't you just say earlier that it
has
okay.
boring. So,
Called it.
the in-game music for League of Legends is boring. It's just a slow kind of like melodic, like it builds. It's pretty cool actually. It builds up over the course of the game. So like as things get more exciting, the music gets more exciting as well. There's like 3 parts.
Wow, a whole 3-part song.
No, that
So,
that sounds cool. Like,
But what I really like about League of Legends is that they make a lot of music.
They do.
They make music for like, they make themes for skin lines. They make themes for champions, and like,
But does this really count as an OST?
I think so.
I mean,
it-
it is.
is it
if
even
you
in the
bought,
game?
If you, yeah,
I mean, I think so.
Is
It's
it
it's
a-
It depends
music
on who
written
you-
for the
Mhm.
game,
it
right?
depends on who
But,
you ask.
but is it a feature of the game? You know?
or a
Yeah.
feature of advertising?
Yeah, exactly.
I
'cause
think
if
it's-
it's just a series of
Mhm.
music videos, they announced that's not OST at all. I don't think that should count.
No, music
know,
cinematic music is not
Mhm.
OST.
Yeah.
But he's talking about in-game skins and character. Like, do
Yeah.
those
Yeah,
themes play in-game?
Do they? Because if they don't, I
Because
think-
if they don't,
a little
they're-
bit,
a
how
little bit.
much?
mhm, not much. But like,
walking the
I
line.
think it's at least an honorable mention because like they don't really need to make all this music and stuff,
But they do.
But they do.
but they do, and it's like it feels really good because like you get to really experience a certain champion a lot more when you get to hear their music because
But
you
what
get
if
to
it's hardly
understand.
played in the game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like that's more of a missed opportunity than a.
Yeah, it's like, why don't they have an option where you can just select to play your character's theme music while you're playing them?
Or on the the champion selection screen, play the music while you're
Mhm.
waiting for everyone else to pick their champions.
Yeah.
I don't know. You have to talk
Riot,
to John Riot
Me-
Games.
John Riot.
Oh no.
But I think it's at least an honorable mention for the amount of stuff they make. Like, because you don't really listen to it in the game, but
Yeah,
You
the
get
music
to-
isn't the main focus of League.
like League of Legends has been my top artist for the last 2 years.
Oh, my
On
favorite
Spotify.
artist, League of Legends.
League of Legends.
Because like
No, but
I mean, like they've
they-
put out some good stuff.
they make some and like champion themes are so good. Well, usually sometimes they're a little hit or miss.
well, and it's
It walks the line of what is an OST.
and there's
Mhm.
other things like okay, so like they have like Imagine Dragons write a bunch of music for them for like their events, right?
yeah.
yeah, that's not
it's
OST.
not used
well,
in the game, but it's not licensed. I mean, it is.
but
licensed,
that's not
it's written
OST though.
for them.
That's not
Like,
OST though.
It's
Because
not
those
OST.
songs are all-
those
songs are all
third-party
bops,
songs
like,
that
those
I've
are
written
so
are
good.
mainly for like big LAN events for
Yeah.
the for
Yeah.
for
Esports events
Yeah, for the
and-
esports
I
events.
just
and
don't-
things.
So I don't really
They're so
count
good.
those, but I think
But-
like the ones that are actually for like the game lore in of itself.
Even though it's not played in the game a whole lot, it's
Mhm.
still. I think it
think
walks
that's
the
fair.
line. It walks
think
the
it walks
line.
the line.
It's game music, not so much OST music.
Mhm.
So it's like
But I'll take it.
I'll
I mean,
take it. I
think,
guess
think that's
that'll
good.
work.
And I think if you throw Arcane in there, that's a whole other.
That's
level.
definitely
that's
not
a-
OST.
that
I
doesn't
know, but
count.
Arcane
That
is
doesn't
so good.
I
with
would say
music.
that the things you mentioned don't count, but it seems I'm outvoted here.
Well, I think it walks the line.
Yeah.
I let it slide, but I think it.
I
is
definitely
not-
think it doesn't
if
count-
Plays in game, then I count it.
It doesn't. I don't think it counts in the same sense as these other ones
Yeah.
count. But I think it's at least should be mentioned with the amount of stuff that we get as
the IP
consumers.
music essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are we to gatekeep music in video games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like we write music for games.
Speak for yourself. I'm
Speak for
kidding.
yourself.
I am Toby Fox.
Boop beep boop.
Takes off like a face mask.
I wouldn't be able to
It's-
recognize
it's-
Toby Fox. Are you
No,
kidding?
no, no. But I take off a face mask. It's just another mask. You know the one that Toby Fox always wears when he goes to events.
You're gonna
Takes
say it
off
was
that
Sans
mask.
or
It's
something.
Dreams mask.
Dreams
Sans.
mask.
No.
It's just a skull underneath. Hey, look, guys, I'm
mask
Sans.
from
Sans
It's like,
underneath.
no,
Go
you've
into my
removed-
eye.
You've removed your skin. Please put
Sans
it
underneath,
back.
Go into my eye.
So if he's Sans, which of us is Papyrus?
That's not important right now.
okay.
It's Aiden.
will
Aiden.
be
Aiden
important
is
later.
tall and
All
skinny.
right, Kyle, what's
That's true.
next?
So there's so many. I know you guys are thinking I'm gonna say Genshin, but I'm actually saying Starbound.
Oh yeah,
Starbound good
I
music.
would have said that would have come up.
Starbound is so good. And it's
Yeah,
it's
here,
like
hang on,
some of
we
the other
can
games we've
talk
discussed
about
where
them
there are
tones.
so many moods. Because,
better
like,
not
for example,
say
my
that.
favorite one is Vast Immortal Suns because it just has this, like,
Carry on my wayward son.
expanse feeling.
Are the Sons immortal though?
They're vast and immortal. Hey, Carry On My Wayward Son is a great song. But, like, Starbound has such good music in so many different varieties. There's, like, these fun battle themes.
Does it like share
There's-
similar vibes to Terraria and Minecraft music? Like,
No. So Terraria is always really high energy, almost. Very bouncy.
played
I
either,
really
so-
love the Terraria soundtrack, but Starbound, its soundtrack is all about a sense of wonder. Like, this is the universe, this vast expanse, and you are here.
oh, it's like a
Exploring all
it's
of
like
it.
a spaced kind of.
Kind of like a No Man's Sky kind of vibe.
I actually don't know the No Man's Sky soundtrack.
But there's kind of like the
minimal.
makes it. It tries to give you the sense of scale, the sense of you're
exactly.
in space.
It's like
Space.
you're in
Space.
space,
Gotta go
and
space.
it
Gotta go
is
space.
yours to conquer, yours to do whatever.
I
with.
can imagine that soundtrack.
This is and it's so good, but it also has a couple things that kind of break from that pattern.
Ooh,
like there's
like
this the
Universe
Nova Kid
Sandbox
theme,
type beat?
which is like this bouncy western,
Wait a minute.
like called "I Was the Sun Before It Was Cool," and it because the Nova Kids are a playable race in Starbound that are like these
Imagine having your race be
star-like
called kids.
people with a western
Kids.
theme to them.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll like the NPCs will talk in this
like
like western
Mandalorian?
slang, and they'll have like kind of, but not
So they've
really.
got like this Western space theme.
Exactly.
Space pirates.
And
Space cowboys.
Space
Sorry.
Cowboys, thank you. And it's so good, and just it covers all these different things. It really does feel like it truly captures the depth and breadth of this really fun, really cool game. It allows you to experience the wonder of just a vast universe, but also the fun quirkiness of the individual parts of it. And that's why I think that Starbound is one of my favorite OSTs of all time.
Fun,
It's
quirky.
so good.
Animatronics get a little quirky here tonight.
And up next is the Five Nights at Freddy's sound. What even is Five Nights? How much music is even in Five Nights
It's
at
literally
Freddy's?
just the jingle for the most part.
I mean, there's been a bunch of like those fan
The
songs.
please
like,
let us
oh,
come
the-
in.
No,
Don't
the
lock us
official
up.
one.
It's been
Not
so
what
long.
you're thinking.
That literally, I
Last
think
I
like
seen
the
my
only
son
real
lost to this
music is the.
monster.
A living
Yeah,
tombstone.
and that's like a really old piece of music.
It's an
That's been around
old
forever.
classical music.
I mean, there's no real.
Yeah.
Is
But,
that all?
That's all I've got for Starbound. It's really good. You should listen to it.
All right, my next one is Sword Art. No, Portal 2.
Boy.
Portal 2 has some good
I
music.
think that
You're
Portal
right.
2 soundtrack is sometimes a little forgotten.
Mhm.
Poor Gord.
But it's so good.
But
It's so
it-
unique feeling.
It is
Yeah.
because they lean so heavily into like rundown technical facility.
Yeah.
Like it goes heavy on
Yeah.
the synth when you're in Aperture Laboratories, but then when you go down into the lower parts where Cave Johnson starts talking your ear off and is free and give me pictures of Spider-Man.
I'll leave pre-recorded messages all day if I want to.
Yeah, it's all like, and then it goes into like a more whimsical kind of like, ooh, a little loopy in the head, and then it goes back, and it's all like, we're back, and when like
Like, how
this-
can we forget the music when you put
the song that plays when Wheatley gets
when
put into
Wheatley
GLaDOS'
goes
body,
bad.
you can hear it
and
go
you
into a
hear
minor
the
key.
twist,
Oh yeah.
and
You
then his
hear it.
laugh
He's like-
changes.
Wait a minute, do we have to go? Why do we have to go now?
Do you know how much I've sacrificed
Like
to
you
put us
hear
here?
it because it's like. It's like in a major key scaling up, and then it goes minor, and the room turns red, and you're like,
Everything changes.
oh no.
You
I am not a moron.
Can a moron punch you down this hole?
I'm just reading books. Not a moron. I think Wheatley is one of the best written characters ever.
Greatest minds of an entire generation working together to create the biggest moron who ever lived.
And you just put him in charge
of
of
the entire
the facility.
So, how are you holding up? I'm a potato. Like Portal 2.
I'm speaking in an accent that is
He's
beyond
her
the
range of
hearing.
Little ball, I can still hear you. Run!
So much for
burn,
that
burn,
plan.
burn! But it's like the song that plays that when you wake up, like every part of it, like Recreating Science is such a good song, and who can forget Want You Gone? Like the credits
yeah.
theme.
Oh, Want You
Well,
Gone
Want
is
You
so
Gone
good.
Gone is
and
so
Still
good.
Alive,
Still
are
Alive
like
are-
so good.
Some of the most iconic video game songs ever.
But like
Have you wait? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean.
I
to
was just gonna say like the end when you're going up the
Oh, like
elevator
the
thing.
turret,
Oh,
the
yeah.
turret,
Yes,
singing.
the turret
Singing
opera.
the
too.
turret opera.
Yeah, when I thought I was just gonna die at the end of the game, and then they sing.
Is there a remake of Still Alive? And
Kind of. So there's this YouTube channel
Okay.
called
Okay.
the 8-Bit
Big Band.
Oh,
I found them
yeah,
on
yeah,
Spotify.
Oh.
Their cover of "Still Alive" is one of the greatest things I've ever
They
heard.
do. They have like these big band like jazzy.
This big jazzy brass band, and there's got
versions of
"This
Still
was
Alive,
a triumph."
Still
I'm
Alive
making a
and
note
Want You
here.
Gone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
it's
good.
so good.
They're so
Like the
I
Portal
love
2
those.
soundtrack is just
And
everywhere
who can
you
forget 4,000 Degrees Kelvin?
Yeah, like
You know?
every single I can like Portal 1 has less music and it's more Portal 1's music is more aesthetic. Portal 2, it's like every single stage you go into, it's like, oh, if you're dealing with the aerial pads, it gives like every time you bounce every time you bounce on them, they play a jingle.
Yeah.
I think that one is 4,000 Degrees Kelvin when you're jumping. Yeah,
And, like,
and
it
then you
speeds
just
up.
catch a small amount of it. But then when you watch the trailers, it's got the
Yeah,
you know, and
recreating
it's like
science. It's just every
Oh.
and like the final boss theme where you're playing, but then it's like it's all intense. Then you go into space and all the music cuts out except for
out.
like
Oh, yeah.
the hum space.
Space.
Pull me back in, and then it
Space.
comes back in. It's everything about Portal 2's
That was really
soundtrack
good.
is like Portal 2. I think is one of the best, perfect, like closest to a perfect puzzle game to ever exist. From the writing to the
absolutely.
game
Oh, yeah.
mechanics
Oh,
to the
yeah.
music, and its
100%.
soundtrack just is an exclamation point to everything about it.
Everything else, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just such a good soundtrack.
Oh,
I
it's-
love the Portal 2
If
It's
soundtrack.
Portal
amazing.
2 is so good, why isn't there a Portal 3?
Valve never went to kindergarten.
Can't count to 3.
All right,
Yeah.
Court. Number 2.
I'm debating in my head because like I've got one that I want to talk about, but like I'm
He was
surprised.
too busy
I'm
doing
way- I
impressions
think I-
of Portal
I-
characters.
I'm-
I'm
I think
surprised
I know
nobody
what
else
it
has already
is.
mentioned it.
Just say
Like,
it.
Say,
No, I'm gonna hold off. It will be my last one if nobody else.
because
talks
I
about it.
probably can guess what it is, and I purposely chose not to put it on there.
Yeah, that's
because-
kind of my thought.
The
too, is,
Fortnite soundtrack,
the
guys.
Fortnite Battle Pass song. No,
the Battle Pass song.
No, Fortnite's music is fine, but it's not anything to write home about.
Nobody plays Fortnite for the music.
like,
I didn't even know it had music.
Right?
I'm debating between two.
Spit it out.
Okay, I'll go with the one. Okay,
Just say it.
Undertale.
Yeah, there it is.
There we
go.
I didn't put it on here because I knew that someone else was gonna put it on.
Waiting for
Undertale
somebody.
has
Revolutionized indie music.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Games.
Undertale is the very like how do I say it?
Essence.
Okay, I am a firm believer that good soundtracks have a lot of recognizable tunes.
Yeah, they do.
It's-
Yep.
It's one of the biggest like weaknesses of say like Uncharted soundtrack. Uncharted has its main theme and that's about it.
Well, and even
Mhm.
like,
Like-
even like God of War Ragnarok,
Yeah,
it's
God
like
of
yeah,
War
the
Ragnarok-
soundtrack is great, but like you could hear a song and not remember that it's from God of War Ragnarok.
Like
The only
God of
song you
War is the
recognize
same
is
way. Like, it's got its main
The main
theme.
theme.
boom, boom, boom. Yeah, like, and it's got that, and then not
Meanwhile,
much beyond
Undertale,
it,
you
know?
play 4 notes.
Okay, that.
But then,
Yeah.
Like, every single-
but like, it's the reason why, like, for instance, it's the reason why
Pirates
Star
do, right?
Wars has such an iconic soundtrack
Yeah,
because
all
there are
the
so
songs are
many
memorable.
recognizable tunes. Lord of the Rings is the same way. So every faction, every person has, well, not every person, but like a lot of the people have their own like
Like Zelda and
recognizable
Mario in the
themes.
same way.
Yeah, Zelda, Mario the same way. And Undertale does that so well because like every character, every boss fight, every
It's
location
its own song.
has its own song,
And
its
they're
own theme
memorable.
that are used in other places to reference back to it and are memorable and are just like eerily catchy at times and like you just can't get them out of your head. Like I was listening to Undertale music on my way here because I was thinking about it and I was like, I want to listen to some Undertale. I mean,
Right?
Spear of Justice,
Do,
freaking
do, 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 do,
Bone
do.
Trousel,
Death by Glamour.
Death
I
by
love,
Glamour,
I love Save the
I mean,
World. The final boss
Save
music
the
is
World.
so good.
Hopes
His
and Dreams,
theme.
Heartache,
His theme,
His
Undertale.
theme,
His theme makes
Undertale,
me cry, bro.
I mean,
Song that might play when you fight Sans.
song that might play when you fight
that
Sans.
might play.
I mean, even like the specific location, like Snowden's,
Yeah.
Mhm.
like Snowden's little like
The
tune.
bird that carried you over.
the bird that carries you over an unproportionately large gap.
Ba-da-da.
Even though it's only a 20-second song.
Oh yeah, Spider Dance,
Like they're all
Dummy.
so
Like they're all so
They're so good.
and then all capped off by, of course,
Megalovania.
It's
which I'll talk about later. but-
Megalovania is its own genre of music at this point.
Yeah, I'll talk about Megalovania later, but yeah, it's
Megalovania was originally an Earthbound song, right?
it was. We'll talk about it because
Okay.
Oh, is
I'm
that
gonna bring
your?
up Megalovania
I
later.
think I know what his favorite song of all time is.
No, you don't. Keep going.
The Fortnite Battle Pass theme.
All right.
What's your final one?
My final one. I really like the Hollow Knight soundtrack.
Hmm.
It, like, Christopher Larkin is such an underrated composer.
Mhm.
Just because, like, all the stuff I've listened to that he's made is really good. And it fits kind of in the same kind of, like, style where, like, he can so easily just instill a feeling of melancholy in you. Kind of like C418 does with
Oh yeah.
Minecraft. Like, it works so well, and it also works really well for what it is, where it's like this kind of like a little like RPG roguelike. You're just like you're running around your little knight, and it gives you that feeling of like, you know, you're going off on an adventure, but like the entire world around you is like so dead. Like, it used to be this great place where all these, you know, these bug creatures lived, but now like it's just fallen apart, and everyone is so like
And you
separate.
feel that in the
Mhm.
music.
You feel it so well in the music, and like the two songs that have been released for the next Hollow Knight Silk song, like the two songs that are so good. And I'm so excited for Silk song to come out because I just want to listen to the music. So
Silk Song will come out when Half-Life 3 comes out.
So
Unfortunately.
never.
yeah.
At least Valve can count to 2. Apparently, the developers of Hollow Knight
They can count to 2 multiple times as well.
Yeah.
For them, their numerical system just goes 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 1 1 2 1 1 2 2 2 1.
Alex.
Yep.
My favorite number, Alex. All right, Kyle, your final one.
My final one. Anyone want to take any bets?
I think it rhymes with Vinyl Fantasy Bix.
What?
Yes, Final Fantasy VI.
Who would have guessed?
Who would have guessed? It's my favorite video game of all time and my favorite soundtrack of all time. It's so good. You know, talking about like iconic themes.
Mhm.
Like, there's so many of them. And here's one of the fun things is like, even though this is
can't
on
be that
like
iconic.
in. You haven't even played the game. Shut up.
I mean, I know.
I've
like,
never
the
played
victory, like,
Undertale.
Yeah, and
That
that's
is the
throughout
only
a
thing
lot.
I know.
That's throughout a lot of Final Fantasy games.
Yeah.
I think that Final Fantasy VI has the best rendition of it because 7 does this dumb things like da 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 da, and then delves into this weird techno piece that doesn't fit the beginning of the song. No, that's 6.
Yeah, I like
That's
6's
That's the
version
good
of
one.
it.
7
'cause
is
I
like,
the end of it.
and I'm like, what is this?
Introducing
6
Skrillex.
Yeah, 6 stays with the
Boomerang.
theme.
Mhm.
But like the funny thing about 6, the composer used to be part. Before he was like a video game composer, he was part of a prog rock band.
Who wasn't
And so
at that time? Like
Right.
at that time period, who was? I mean, I feel like a lot of like, especially in Europe. Have you guys seen that? This is a complete side tangent, but have you seen that map where it's like, punk, like heavy metal bands per square kilometer, and overlaid a map of Finland, and no, it's like a dot of every metal band and a dot of every pub, and there's more bands than pubs in Finland.
Yeah, but this isn't Europe. This is Japan.
Oh, well, that's different.
Yeah, that's different. This guy was in a prog rock band, and it shows through his music, which is something that always bothers me when I look up and I find like reorchestrations, and it's like this. It feels distant orchestral pit playing it, which is nice, but there isn't that oomph to it of having the guitar go, and then the trumpet comes in.
This isn't- That guitar sounded like
And-
it's a Doom song.
Well, it's not that as hard as the Doom ones.
You made it sounded like that.
Well, but you gotta understand, this was also on the Super Nintendo sound
Good
card.
old 16-bit.
Yeah, so they were very limited in the number of sounds they had access to, and this guy composed some like music that sounds better than most orchestrations of it with modern tools and with modern sound fidelity. It's just so amazing. And like, every character has a theme song that is an absolute banger.
I would hope so.
From the morose to the exciting. You'll see that a theme with me is I love soundtracks that capture every feeling of the game.
That's a word of the day. Morose.
Morose, yeah.
What does it mean? Define it.
It's like melancholy.
Kind of
Can
melancholy.
you use it in a sentence? Can you use it in a
I
definition?
feel morose when I'm not playing Fortnite.
country of origin?
Sullenly melancholy or gloomy. Country of origin, Arabic.
Interesting.
That's not a country.
Wait, translation bros from Arabic speakers. I'm wrong.
It's like
I just-
what
Arabic.
country is it from? Arabic.
Where the heck is morose from then? It's not if it's not Arabic.
Arabian
It's
Ohio.
Actually, this is not giving me the country of origin.
Well,
I
that's
just
too bad.
that's a shame. Anyway,
Cool.
I could go on all day about why the Final Fantasy
You've gone
VI
on a lot
soundtrack
about
is really
Final
good.
Fantasy VI.
Not
And
a
we're here
ton
for
throughout
it.
the
And
podcast.
We're here for it.
Just
in
in
the
recent
last couple
episodes.
weeks.
Yeah,
Last couple weeks.
I've been thinking about it.
Hitting your mic.
It's
Stop
stop touching
playing
your
with
mic.
Grogu. Don't say it. Put him back.
It's really good, and it has some of my favorite music of all time. So I'm just
Something
gonna
tells
say
me his favorite song is coming from that game.
it is.
All right, my final one. I've mentioned this game, I think, once before.
Oh,
No.
boy!
You thought
Overwatch.
Sonic Unleashed.
Mm.
So, general, I think even though Sonic 06 is a horrendous garbage fire of a game, its soundtrack is really good.
Yeah.
Like even that, like similar to Pokemon games, and it's like, yeah, the game quality itself may not be great, but you can guarantee that the soundtrack is gonna be good. And
Mhm.
for me, Sonic Unleashed is the best Sonic soundtrack, outside of the Werehog battle music.
It's like,
I
let's be
cannot tell
real.
you how annoyed I am. Dun, 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 boy! They have one battle theme for the Werehog. One. It's just loud trumpets blasting in your face. So discounting that song.
So, if I understand this correctly, when it comes to Sonic Unleashed, most people hate it because of the Werehog levels, but you love everything else in it so much that you're like, oh, this is amazing, but screw the Werehog
I don't
levels.
think the Werehog levels are awful. I think that they're a little weird, but I think that the daytime levels are so good that they carry that game. And like the Werehog levels are okay, but the music is actually pretty good because the way that Sonic Unleashed does it is, you're traveling across the continents on the various levels, and both the night and day levels have music that is influenced by the area. So it's like if you're going to the continent that's influenced by China, that's based on China, the music will have like the mandolin and like Asian styled music. If you go to the one that's styled off of Europe, it has just like it has strings. In the nighttime levels, it's like mellow strings, and in the daytime, Rooftop Run is one of, if not the best daytime Sonic song to ever exist. It is high-paced, fast, just makes you want to. It is everything that a Sonic level should be. Super fast, and the music makes you feel like you just want to go fast.
Gotta go fast.
Might even make you think that you gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast. Sonic, gotta go fast. Go, 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 go,
Sonic
go, go, go.
X.
I don't think I'll I'll contest it in court, but I don't think they'll accept "Gotta Go Fast" as a medical condition.
That show.
So,
That
like,
show
had no reason to
bad,
Sonic Unleashed-
but it has some banger lines.
It's
Oh,
so
really
good.
does.
It's like the Sonic Unleashed sound. All of the daytime songs are so good, and they like encapsulate what a boost-based Sonic game should be. All of them are good. Whether you're going to Atapat, I think that's what or you're like in Alaska and you're listening to like the.
Alaska?
Alaska?
It's like Eskimo based.
So
You mean Inuit?
Inuit.
Well, no, but that area, whatever.
Alaska's evil cousin, Alaska.
Alaska. So it's like when you're listening to that one, or
Hell-Alaska.
even when you go to the final like daytime levels in
Don't
Eggman
forget
Land.
Arkansas.
Eggman Land is one of those levels in
it's
Sonic Unleashed
just
where it's like
Arkansas.
you've just come from like a tropical island, like going fast. You're like, man, this is so much. I'm ready to just cruise through more levels, listen to good music. And Eggman Land goes, you're gonna do what? And like hits you with this song that's like, oh no, you're not in charge here.
Ooh.
You're not, you're not in control here. The level Eggman's in control, and it just has like this techno punk, like makes you feel like on edge the whole time. You're like, this is scary. I just need to get out of here.
The music starts with, I've come to make an announcement.
Shadow the Hedgehog.
You hot topic
One of
wannabe.
me. The island is going to explode. So like I just love the Sonic Unleashed soundtrack, and it's a shame that the version that I grew up on, the Wii version, only had like one, for lots of the levels, one version of the daytime levels. So you literally got to hear those songs for like 3 minutes and never again.
Ooh.
But on the other more advanced, on 360 and PS3, you got more of them, and they had extra levels. But it was just Sonic Unleashed as a soundtrack, as a game. It just encapsulated everything that a Sonic game should be outside of the boost version of Sonic Unleashed is everything that a Sonic game should be, in my opinion. Like, yeah, Sonic Frontiers is probably a good game, but I don't like its soundtrack. You heard me. I said it.
Oh,
I said it, guys.
them's fighting words.
I think that those cyberspace level soundtracks are weak.
Wow.
Ooh.
Always knew you were a bit weak.
But weak in it. Like, Sonic Unleashed, it's so good. It's such a good soundtrack. I don't know. I know that Jason has played Sonic, because if any of you guys played Sonic Unleashed,
No.
I know Jason has, and I think Jason will agree with me that I don't know if he'll agree with me that it is like one of the best soundtracks ever, but he will agree with me that the daytime levels at least are really good, and I love the daytime levels.
All Jason care about is whether or not those little friggin' gremlin things are. What are
Like
those?
Chow.
Chow.
There's
The
no
Chow
chows
Gremlin.
in. There's no chows in.
I
Gremlins.
don't- They're little
There's
small
no-
creatures.
there's no-
They're gremlins.
Like, yeah, the game doesn't have any live and learn or open your heart, but it's a really good soundtrack.
Okay.
They're all sleeping on the Sonic Underground main theme.
Sonic Underground. Sonic
Underground.
All right,
The
all right.
older Sonic TV shows.
No.
All right. Super
All right,
Sonic
Cord.
Racing. What's your final one?
Give us your
'Kay.
number one.
I had a bunch of other ones prepared because I figured someone would have already said this by now, and so I could go on for honorable mentions.
Pick
for
one.
hours. Why has no one said The Legend of Zelda yet?
Well, you're looking at someone who doesn't play Legend of Zelda.
I was.
So it's him.
debating.
You're looking at him.
Yeah.
Kyle
Because I mean, that
specifically.
was one I figured would be picked up right off the bat, so I didn't want.
Yeah,
to go over
Kyle,
it,
why
but-
didn't you do it?
This was a very hard.
He's like
decision.
Starbound
Yeah.
clear.
It does though. It's
I mean-
so good.
Oh, of
Okay,
course, ready to
all
fight
right.
you.
I
But,
mean,
but hold on.
I
I'm
figured-
never going to diss on Legend of Zelda music ever. Legend of Zelda never misses with its music. It's always been good. Breath of the Wild, every single game, Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, all of them amazing.
Like counterpoint.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say I thought the reason why nobody was hitting on it was just because it was just an undisputed fact.
No,
that,
I didn't mention
yeah.
it because
that
I don't play Legend
Zelda
of Zelda.
is the absolute king of video game soundtracks.
I think
thought
Legend
that
of
was
Zelda-
really good.
I've
would
I've
say-
listened to the what's the most recent one? Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild.
It was okay.
Breath of the Wilds is its own style.
Yeah,
It's its own
I just
style.
don't play
It's
Legend
a
of Zelda
departure from
games,
the
so
rest
I
of the
didn't mention it
franchise.
because I don't have
Mhm.
any
Every-
experience.
You could, I mean, there is an argument to be made for every single Legend of Zelda game saying it's the best one with it's the best one period, and it's the best one with soundtrack.
Mhm.
And you would be right in all cases because
Except
they're all,
perhaps Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link.
except perhaps yes,
Yeah.
but because they're all stellar. The soundtrack is
Oh, yeah.
amazing. The callbacks between themes with games, it's got that
See,
tons
the
of
only
recognizable themes.
music I
yeah.
recognize are from the N64 era.
Yeah, but I think the king among kings
Mm.
of
Among?
of Zelda soundtracks comes from Wind Waker.
Ooh.
Really?
So,
Wind Waker's good.
Wind
I feel
Waker,
that. I could agree with that.
Wind Waker, I mean, okay, granted, I've only played the 3D Zeldas minus Majora's Mask, so I haven't played a whole ton of the 2D ones or
Mhm.
Adventure of Link, but
You think Wind Waker's is better than Ocarina of Time?
I do.
I mean, I don't really know,
I
but
think it's hard to say, but I think if I
Yeah.
had to rank them, it would be
I think so. Wind Waker has enough difference from the other ones to where it doesn't fade into the
the only thing
mix,
I remember is the
but it
main
is
theme.
also so. Yeah, you're not even doing it right.
but I mean, it's. I mean, you've
but-
got Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess has some
Very
amazing
good.
songs. Skyward Sword, amazing. Breath of the Wild, amazing. Ocarina of Time, iconic. But Wind Waker has, I mean, just
It has
that
the right amount of
main-
its own
that
identity.
menu
and-
theme that you get to
Ah.
right off
Yeah,
the
that
bat.
one-
And then at the very end of the game when you're setting off to sail with
Yes.
Tetris, it's like bum 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 bum.
Tetra.
Tetra. Bum 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 bum. And it's like
Oh, yeah.
with the French horn, I mean,
My brothers and I, we would gather on the back porch of our house and just sing the music from it, humming, whistling, whatever, just because it was so good.
Wind Waker's
it's amazing.
soundtrack is okay. I mean, I think you could arguably say, I mean, not arguably. You could say, I could say just the entire Legend of Zelda series because
Yes.
every single one is
Definitely.
a banger.
Yeah.
Every single one has and I would argue the best video game music of all time comes from
Certainly,
every
I would
Zelda
say
game.
in the running for the
Certainly
most
up
iconic.
there.
Yeah.
Because, like, the Legend of Zelda theme alone is one of the most iconic bits of score, I would say, ever produced.
But I think Wind Waker among these kings of video game music, Wind Waker is the lead of that. Because Wind Waker just has so many banger songs, one after another.
Fair enough.
They're all inspiring, they're all adventurous, they're all whimsical, they're so good.
Yes, I would agree with you.
I
feel like part of the reason I didn't mention Legend of Zelda was because I was trying to bring attention to these other games that are just not as well known.
And that's
but
kinda
are
what I
incredibly
figured.
good. But like, Legend of Zelda music is just impeccable.
Yeah.
And Wind Waker, I would agree with you that Wind Waker is probably the best among them for music. I'm very curious to see with Tears of the Kingdom if they bring in like something that could rival it. Because like the main theme for Tears of the Kingdom is dope.
Oh yeah.
But like that's something we just have to wait and see.
I mean, the truth is, if you guys didn't stop me, I could go on and have an entire episode where I just broke down the best Zelda themes, the best Zelda music. I could go on for literal hours
Please
if people
don't.
didn't stop me.
No, I
And
feel
so
that, Court.
It's
I feel
like,
that.
Consider yourself stopped.
it's so good. Listen to the Zelda soundtrack.
Zelda
I don't care
soundtrack
which
very
one.
good.
Listen to all of them. They're so good.
Yep.
All right, now it's time to the final bit. This time we are gonna say, "Screw you, YouTube. We're playing music."
Ha!
So we will play each one of our favorite songs, and if YouTube flags us, we're not trying to monetize this video anyways. So gotcha.
What about if Spotify doesn't let us post though?
We're not trying to monetize that either.
Well, yeah, but it might still get us.
Let's see.
got us.
Spotify. What would it be? What would I search?
That's a good question. I don't know
Can
the
I
keywords to use.
Music in podcast. Spotify should not be used to distribute music tracks. Well, we're not distributing music tracks. We're not gonna play the whole songs though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, all right, Ben,
Okay,
kick it off. What am I searching here?
Drayton from Minecraft Beta soundtrack.
Oh,
Hmm.
Minecraft. Drayton Minecraft. John Drayton.
John Minecraft?
Oh, I spelled it wrong. That's okay. I didn't expect it to be spelled like that. All right, I'm pretty sure I've heard this one. All right, guys, are we ready for this? Listen to this.
So I mean, I would recommend going past the halfway point to about, let's see.
I can tell why. I'm not. Oh,
Yeah, go to about
this one.
Go to about 6 minutes.
The steel drums. This is a good one.
Okay, something like this is the best application of steel drums I think I've ever heard. Probably because I haven't listened to many music with steel drums, but like, and these are actually hand pans. But anyways,
Fair enough. Same thing.
like it just hits so well.
When it swells, because this one
Yeah.
starts really quiet, but then it swells up. Like all of C418's, lots of his music does that. It like starts quiet and then it reaches a swell.
Yeah, and so like this song, I don't know what it is. Like it also like you can't really hear it with this, but like there is some incredible bass going on here.
Oh yeah. I'm
That
sure
like,
it is.
and when you have like the right stuff to listen to the bass, it hits so hard. And here, it just cuts like that, and it's so
That
good.
is such
Like,
that is
It's
that is
oh
so
man,
good.
it just if you want like the feeling of Minecraft, that is it. I feel like sorry microphone. That
Sorry, audience, not microphone.
that like it, I feel like it just hits so much
It's
harder
such a good song.
than any of the other like the early ones. It's just the piano.
The early ones are always light. Not a lot of them go very heavy on anything, but a lot of the beta soundtrack swells up too.
Yeah, and like that one in area math as well. But like I feel like this one hits so much harder just because it has that final end piece where it swells up real loud and just cuts.
Yeah, that was really.
And it's
cool.
just like soft piano and like oh man, I feel like if you really want to get the feeling of Minecraft,
this one.
that's the song to listen to.
All right, Kyle, what am I searching?
Dancing Mad from Final Fantasy VI. This is the final boss theme, and you'll want to start. It's long, so you're gonna want to start.
17 minutes. It
yeah.
really is like you're gonna take a lifetime beating this. Good luck.
You're gonna want to start at the beginning of the final act,
Which is where?
probably good.
Probably where it peaks
two-thirds
at
of the way
most
through.
played. 14 minutes.
Let's try it.
Most played. I'm gonna go just before it. Here we go.
Okay, this is the end of the second act.
Oh, the organ. Dude, I love these early songs,
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
games and the organs. Here's your drum set.
Yeah, prog rock, remember. Did you hear the laugh? That's Kefka's iconic laugh, and they put it in the theme song to fight this guy.
And this is the start of the third act.
This is the start of the
Dude,
third
this
act.
is kind of going.
I remember playing the beginning of this song for my mom, and she's like, the first act, she's like, man, this sounds like a funeral march. I'm like, yeah, there's a part where he kills everybody.
Well, a lot of these early JRPGs like really used like this organ sound. Like it's 8-bit,
Oh, yeah.
but like didn't like Castlevania used it as well.
Yeah.
Like they loved this organ sound.
And this combination of like an organ with a rock band is so like
yeah,
interesting.
organ
Something
with
people
a
just
drum set.
organ with, and you can hear there's a guitar in there too. And there's just like
bass guitar.
yeah, and there's like people don't do that anymore. I want to see more of that. And you ought to hear there's a remix of it. I've encountered one remix that was better than the original. I'm gonna play it real quick. Okay, let's see.
I found it. Gotcha. First try.
Oh yeah, there's this that doesn't play in the OST version, but it's in the game. There's a sort of this hit
Well, I found
when
it.
when you get to it and wait for it. When I was a freshman in college, I had some free spending money. I went to this guy's band camp and purchased this, paid what you want, $15 worth every penny
For what? Like the
to just own my own copy of this on Bandcamp.
oh, so you have
Because-
all of the like the separated tracks and everything. So you have like essentially the MIDI file.
No,
Oh.
just the thing as it's made, because I wanted to support this artist because it was so
Oh, okay.
good. It hit me so hard, and I'm gonna and on the way home I'm going to be listening to this.
Well, don't
It's just
like.
it's the most climactic fight music I've ever heard in my life. It's so amazing.
There's a lot of songs that I think are more climactic, but
Well, you haven't listened to the whole thing.
That's fair.
And it goes through like so many stages. It goes through so many things, and it fits everything in the game together, and it's just perfection.
fair enough. All right, we ready for mine? I think we all pretty much have it. Our favorite song is from the game we mentioned last. So
Usually, yeah.
in Sonic Unleashed, the credits music is Endless Possibility, which, fun fact, is done by the same group that does the Phineas and Ferb opening.
No way.
Hey, Ferb, I know what we're going to do today. We're going to prevent the Earth from being destroyed by a massive monster. And something that happened in modern Sonic games, starting with 06, is like they had their credits theme. So in Sonic 06, it was his world, and like Sonic Unleashed is Endless Possibility, Sonic Colors, it's Reach for the Stars, and the final boss music is often an orchestration of that song. And I think Sonic Unleashed perfect Dark Gaia theme, which is an orchestration of Endless Possibilities, is so good.
Ooh.
It's a very good song. And let's get to where it swells. And this is the third phase of the final boss. So you're just jamming out to the song. And all these modern Sonic games, like 06 to Colors, use this practice of taking the end credits, like basically pop rock song, and orchestrated it, and that becomes the final theme. Because the actual song... hang on, I want to get to this bit. So yeah, it's just like you get this for like 7 minutes as you're going through it, but then the actual
sound pretty
version,
good.
this is the actual rock version of it. So you can see where it like, it translates pretty well.
That is really good.
Like, I would have picked this one, but I think the orchestration perfect Gaia form is just so... Because it just, like, makes you feel like you just want to beat this boss.
Ooh.
So these are the guys that made the Phineas and Ferb?
Yeah, this is Bowling for Soup.
It's Bowling for Soup. What is that name?
Hey, Phineas, Ferb, I know what we're going to do today. We're going to go fast. But, like, the chorus is so good. Like, it's just... I love Endless Possibility. Huh, I wonder where your final song is. Huh, Wind Waker.
I'm trying to find a specific. There's a specific part.
Is it the theme
It's not the theme. There's this French horn bit at the very end.
of the theme?
No, like at the very end of the game, like when
Oh.
they're setting sail.
Credits theme.
It's not the credits though. It's
What is it?
It's like, what is the name of it?
Speak.
Just look up the OST and find like the last few entries and figure out which one it is. You know, it's just like
Court. You gotta come with the name of your freaking.
well, okay, but here's the thing. I was originally thinking I was gonna do Megalovania, but that was mostly because I thought that someone was already gonna have Zelda
Is it
covered.
just ending, or is it Farewell Hyrule King?
Probably ending. Okay, keep it here.
this is the pirate theme.
This is the pirate theme.
I'm waiting.
I don't think this is it. Is this it?
Is it epilogue? Let's try this
This could
one.
be epilogue.
No, it's not Farewell Hyrule.
I don't.
Try staff credits.
Oh wait, not yet.
That is a really good one. Okay, try epilogue then. Maybe it's epilogue. I know. I'm sorry.
Court, you gotta come with the.
This is it.
It's just 1 minute long.
Yeah, because it's the ending cutscene.
I like the string, like
Yeah, the strings are great.
the good old MIDI strings.
Oh yeah.
Bass thing.
You're waiting.
And then the main theme behind it.
He found it, gentlemen.
We found it after a few tries.
Took a bit.
We just Wind Waker.
Wind Waker.
Wind Waker.
Huh, now, Megalovania.
Okay, because I thought someone was already going to
Are there any other songs from anything that's mentioned that somebody wants to have played? Because we're throwing the rules out right now.
The Uncharted theme song, since none of you guys.
We are. The audio listeners are going to be a little confused because it's just like the music will be very faint.
Yeah,
Oh.
I assume that the microphones aren't picking it up.
Well, it's
very
picking up a
well.
little bit. Is it Nate's theme?
Yeah, Nate's theme. Do
3.0?
the Uncharted 4 version.
Okay, let's hear this.
one.
We won't listen to the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh wait, it skipped ahead of it a little bit. Go back.
Oh.
Okay.
And the whole song is just kind of like this.
Yes and no.
Let's hear it.
It's that beginning.
Oh, here we go. This sound.
How pleasant.
Why does this sound like it would play in some like the final speech in like a, you know, like the final speech of Independence Day before they go off and fight the aliens?
What I love about it is
Sounds like a really patriotic like we
It's the
fight for our
same-
country.
it's the same theme, but each of the different games uses it differently and uses it in like slightly different keys.
Okay.
To the point where like
Nice.
if you listen to all four of them at once, that I saw this video. If you listen to all four of them at once, it sounds like this disjointed like horror.
Yeah,
mess.
because they're all
because
slightly
they're
off
all
pitch.
slightly different, and each one has like its own like identity that matches with the theme of the game itself. It's so good.
All right. Anyone else have a song that wants played? I do, but if no one else does, we'll just do mine and move on.
I've got one more.
Nope, you've already.
Nope.
done yours. All right. So I mentioned rooftop.
Silence.
I mentioned Rooftop Run. This is if every Sonic game's daytime level had a song to like this energy, you would just never want to stop playing. I mean, listen to this. Like you just want to go fast. The whole song is just like
Is it also Bowling for Soup?
no. This is the actual like group that does the OST.
Oh, this one.
This
have
is
heard
just
this
it wants you
before.
to go, and then they did like remastered for Generations. So like the Generations one is this. This is what it sounds like. So they kind of toned it down a little bit. The classic version goes a little more retro, but like it's the same feeling. It adds a little more guitar into it. But like it's you just want to go. You just
Yeah.
want to go.
Just want
Go
to
fast.
Gotta go
Extreme
fast.
speed.
Music. Do we let him?
Fine, just because we didn't go.
All right, Court.
It better not be Megalovania.
It's not.
Okay.
Well, we wouldn't
It's-
need to play that. We
It's
know what that
the-
sounds like.
It's the finish the fight from Halo. That
Oh,
you
well, we
guys
know that
Oh.
one.
Yeah, finish the fight from Halo.
Yeah, it's that one. Okay, so you guys
Very
have
good.
heard
Yeah,
it?
we've heard this
Okay,
one. I
then
feel
never
like
mind. Then never mind.
I
just
feel
wanna
like
make sure you guys
the
have heard.
iconic Halo music. If you haven't heard those,
Okay, I just want to make sure you guys had heard.
yeah, it's like the piano, the heavy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you guys have heard it, then.
All right, so
it's
that's
okay.
music. So
Yeah,
in conclusion,
hold on.
oh,
I think
wait.
we should do an honorable mention speed round. Just drop the name, no explanation.
Okay.
Song or
Song?
Just-
Soundtrack.
no, soundtrack.
Soundtrack.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
down for that.
Court.
Maybe-
Let's start Ben. Let's
Maybe
go.
2 each,
Yeah,
if that.
two each.
Terraria?
Of course. Yeah.
Wait,
Honorable
sorry,
mention.
What'd you say?
Terraria.
Terraria.
Terraria. Oh yes. That's a great honorable mention. Genshin
Mhm.
Impact. Yes, as predicted. It's got a great soundtrack. Go.
I'm gonna say the Knights of the Old Republic games. I think that those
Ooh.
are like obviously all Star Wars games have good ones, but I feel like the Knights of the Old Republic themes are.
Very good.
Similarly, Jedi Fallen Order had an amazing soundtrack.
Excellent.
Wait, keep going around. 'cause
Well,
I
I
got
don't
one.
really have a whole lot
Last of
more.
Us.
Okay. You
Okay.
just-
Oh, Last of Us.
Okay,
We got
good.
balloons.
Just
Blue.
Oh, Age of War.
Age of War.
Shilling for our own opening theme. Thanks,
Yeah.
Waterflame.
Age of Empires.
Age of Empires has
Empires.
good ones. Good old. I mean, I want to throw Overwatch out there. I think Overwatch has a very good. The map themes are so good in Overwatch.
Force Unleashed is a really good.
Force
main
Unleashed
theme.
has good ones.
I think.
I mean, and
Um,
unfortunately, I can't say Burnout 3 because that is a licensed soundtrack.
Stardew Valley.
I haven't played it yet. I
We're
wanna
mentioning
play it.
only of the 2D
Very-
side-scroll adventure games. We've mentioned the big three: Starbound, Stardew Valley, and Terraria.
Wait,
Yeah.
Stardew Valley isn't 2D.
Oh, is it not?
Stardew Valley.
Oh, it's like the
it's flat map.
It's like
yeah,
Animal
top
Crossing,
down,
esque,
yeah.
Mario for honorable
Oh, yeah,
mentions.
Mario
all the
Kart.
All
Mario
Mario's,
Kart.
Just
all the
Mario
Zeldas.
anything.
Yeah.
Mario anything.
Anything else we need to mention?
Smash Bros.'s main themes.
Yes.
Smash Bros is fun.
Each Smash Bros. game has its own main theme, and they're all bangers.
They're all amazing.
Oh, the Wii Sports games.
the Mii music.
What's
from
what's
Nintendo.
what's the
Wii.
original one? I have the Wii Sports Resort on the top of my head.
Okay, well, all right. I guess we have
No,
to play
just,
this.
just sing it out real quick.
Oh, no, no,
I'll
no,
get,
no.
I'll
We-
get
we-
it if you just give
we
me
have
a,
to. We
a
have to
prompt.
get.
Wii Sports is important.
Oh, is it bum? Yeah. bum bum bum. Yep, there you go.
There we got it.
I think we'll end on that.
We'll end on that. That was a good place to
best way
end.
to
Best way to end. It's time for some esports.
Esports.
Call of Duty
Esports after
actually.
the Wii Sports.
Call of Duty actually didn't have anything. Their Stage 4 stuff starts on the 31st, so I won't be talking about it for a couple weeks. So I will instead start with Valorant, which is currently having their VCT in Seoul. It is the VCT Pacific League. They literally just started today,
Dope.
being March 25th. And let me refresh the page to see if more matches have been played. There have been a whole 2 games.
There we go.
T1 took down Global Esports. It looks, yeah. T1 took down Global Esports, and then, am I reading this? Yeah. And then DRX took down Zeta, I believe. So that's literally it. That is all that has happened. 2 games. T1 won 2-1, and then DRX won 2-0. So DRX, because they won 2-0, is in first place, and DC1 is, yeah. So that's Valorant. Yippee! That's
Yippee.
it. That's it for Valorant. Ben, take
All
us
right.
away. League of Legends.
Real quick, because I have 4 regions to go through.
Oh.
North America has entered into their playoffs bracket with, if I can pull it up, load please. Okay. TSM, Team Liquid, Immortals, and Dignitas not making it into playoffs, which is real funny considering Team Liquid spent a pretty penny
Well,
on
they've
their
got
roster.
the big bag. They dropped the
Mhm.
bucks for the
They dropped the
roster.
bucks for that roster, only to completely drop the ball.
Oof.
And 2 playoffs matches have been played so far. C9 beating CLG and FlyQuest beating 100 Thieves, putting the FlyQuest and C9 up against each other in the upper bracket.
Nice.
Off to the LCK. They finished their regular season.
And T1 is still dunking everyone.
T1 dumping everyone 17-1. Which, I mean, they went undefeated last split, so.
Yeah,
mean,
if T1, it seems
Mhm.
like they should be, but it's as it was last year, favorites in the regular season and choked. So hopefully they don't do a
Mhm.
impression of themselves.
And so they've had a few playoffs games so far. HLE beating Damwon, KT roster beating Sandbox. And last night it was T1 versus KT, and it actually went the full 5 games. With
Ooh.
KT actually managed to take off 2 games in the 5-game series, so very exciting. I have to watch it because I wasn't able to watch it because I came here.
We're sorry.
Sometimes for the greater good.
We
So-
honor your sacrifice.
Honor my sacrifice. Thank you, thank
Yeah.
you. I really appreciate it. Europe, they are still just at the very beginning of their split
Mhm.
with a 4-way tie for first.
You'll love to see it.
All 4 teams at top place being at 4-2.
Wow.
SK, BDS, G2, and Vitality all at 4-2. And yeah, so it should be exciting
And
to
then
see.
China's the battle of the G's.
China, the battle of the Gs,
The G's, the OGs.
with
So many G's.
3-way tie for first between EDG, LNG, and JDG.
China's just such a funny region with all those
Mhm.
generic, just gaming
names.
gaming groups.
And so it should definitely be very exciting. It was like the EDG, I think it was EDG and versus TT was a very exciting series. So TT Gaming, Thunder Talk Gaming.
That's all gaming.
Thunder
like
Talk.
The people who make
Oh,
Lego
Thunder Talk.
games.
hmm
Thunder Thighs. Got it.
So
Like gaming.
a 3-way tie for first.
There was an org called that.
Each team at 13-3, so their
Wow.
playoffs should be starting soon,
Sick.
which should be exciting. So that is League of Legends.
All right. Smash is having Smash Ultimate Summit
Ooh.
Nice.
in LA. They're only in their single
Blah.
pools right now. It looks like each group has played 2 games. There's 4 groups of 4 players. The top of Group A is Apollo Cage. Top of Group B is Mute Ace. Top of Group C is Akola. And the top of Group D is Tweak. Hungry Box is 0-2 for anyone who's curious.
Nice.
He's kind of getting a. He got
Get
he
Jigglypuff
got
out of here.
3-0'd and 3-1 by Gluttony and MK Leo.
Dang.
But those are high name players.
I know.
so-
It was just I only recognize Hungry Box.
Mhm.
So they'll continue. So it's like the best of 5 sets. They'll continue, and then they'll be separated into into their 4 brackets, and then they'll play, and then it'll go to. They've got like a bunch of different. They've got like a bunch of different brackets that happen here, but they're still just in group play right now. So it goes until till tomorrow, the 26th. So by the time this episode comes out, somebody will have won. So that's cool. And then the final thing, the Overwatch League has begun.
Return of the
The return of the king. That's why I'm wearing my hat. This was signed at Grand
The
Finals.
King.
My Overwatch hat. So the Overwatch League Pro-Am, which is essentially a glorified preseason, it allows the Tier 2 contenders teams to play against the Overwatch League teams. Now you'd come into this and you'd be like, oh well, easy money, Overwatch League teams win. Well, you would
Would be wrong.
You'd be a little wrong there. So
Ooh.
2 days have happened. They started Thursday, Friday. So groups A and B have played. And at top of Group A, Florida Mayhem 2-0 and Vancouver Titans 2-0. And then there's 2 contenders teams, Trick Room and Timeless. Trick Room is 1-1, Timeless is 0-2. I don't know. It looks like Florida Mayhem should take the 1 seed and Titans should somehow take the 2 seed because also in this group is the runner-ups from last season, the San Francisco Shock, who have 2 championships. They lost to a contenders team.
Oh.
In their defense, though, they are playing from Korea with like 250 ping.
No.
And are probably not taking this super seriously.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's not great.
It's not good for their image.
Group B is kind of a mess. It's just like Atlanta Reign's Play Toys because Atlanta Reign's just like the super team, just beating everybody, and then everyone else just kind of scrambling, trying not to lose too badly. they have not lost a map. They're a perfect 3-0 with a 6-0 map differential. So Atlanta Reigns are favorites to take the tournament. Group C and D, including my Houston Outlaws, don't play until next week. So that's unfortunate. We'll see it next week. Houston Outlaws will probably, hopefully, my Houston Outlaws. I actually own them. So yeah, I'm excited finally for Overwatch League to return in technical fashion. The regular season actually doesn't start until the end of April, but at this point, I just need anything. Lots of memes have been had. It's been quite fun to just have the return of Overwatch League. That's it for esports. Anyone have anything before we close?
Yes, I do.
No.
All right, start reading out the outro.
Hold on. I just realized we forgot two very important things in our honorable mentions, which is Doom and Ace Attorney.
I was actually genuinely thinking about it because it's like Ace Attorney unironically has some very good
I haven't
songs.
played the games, but I have heard it's really solid.
Like both of them.
Objection!
Yeah, exactly. Those are both very good. So we're gonna.
Fun fact: on my mission,
Put those on the list.
during lockdown, it's always like try and make videos to like put on Facebook. Me and my
you
companion
use
actually
Ace
made
Attorney
an Ace
music?
Attorney parody with the Book of Mormon, and it was on. It took me 8 hours of editing because I was doing it on a phone.
Oh,
It was some
yeah.
of my best work. I'm not gonna
sounds
lie,
amazing.
because
You
I
better show that
manually
to
did
us.
the
Is
text
it
out.
available to the public? Can we watch it on YouTube?
So it's like, and I manually did the text with the text sound effects.
You're kidding,
Not kidding.
On your
Straight up
phone?
On my phone.
bro.
And got original assets. I literally found gameplay where both sides were blank and then inserted us on top.
You know there's a website you can use to just make that. Now.
You know that you can just ask a bot on Twitter to turn any Twitter thread into an Ace Attorney
There's a bot
scene,
for that.
right?
There is a bot.
There's a
for
bot
that.
for that.
Have you seen? There's
Oh.
videos where it's just like
A Twitter
it's
thread.
like a Twitter thread, or like there's even like ones for like a Discord
It's so
conversation,
funny.
and it's just like these three like Discord people just like arguing back and forth about like is water wet, and then they're just, objection.
Yeah, those games are good. Before we do the outro, we will not have an episode next week because General Conference is happening, and
Yep.
you should be watching. Well, when the episode comes out, General Conference would have happened. We have conference to watch, and
We will be watching a more important podcast.
Yeah, we will be watching the Lords
The podcast.
2-day
The podcast.
5-session podcast from
From our homes.
we will not there will not be an episode that week, so we will 2 weeks
We'll
from
resume
now.
after that.
2 weeks we'll resume.
We got
so.
some big plans coming up, so be sure not to miss the next few episodes that come out. We got some cool stuff in the works. That's all I'm going to tell you.
All right, Kyle, take us out.
Wait, I don't even know what the cool stuff in the works is.
That's okay. We'll
We'll
just
tell you
inform
after we stop filming.
All right, Kyle, take us out.
Knights of the D-Pad is a publication of the Daily Universe. We'd like to give a special thanks to Alan Neves, Miles Romney, and Melissa Gibbs for everything they did and do
Not too close,
to
not too
help support us and continue to do this podcast. Also, if you'd like to reach out to us with feedback, ideas for topics, just to say hello, or to send us more soundtracks you think we missed, you can shoot us an email at knightsofthedpadpodcast@gmail.com. With that, let's sign off. My name is Kyle.
I'm Ben.
I'm Aiden.
I'm Court.
And we are the Knights of the D-Pad. See you next time.
I was gonna say not next week. See you in 2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks.